$. Let me spell the guy's name right. Saddest money. I was imagining like a sad monkey, but okay. All right, let's do it. Let's watch some Kai. Oh, and let me see what he said. He said he finds Lightning Strike FRC difficult. All right, we'll keep that in mind. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Good. Okay, he backdash, but that's okay. Okay. Setting the right tone early. I like it. Nice punish. Okay. Oh, the triple? Okay. Don't usually see the triple. Okay. I mean... Oh, could you have killed him here? Whoops, got hit. How do you do Sacred Edge? I don't know what the input is. Somebody tell me how to do Sacred Edge. Is it just quarter circle forward twice H? No. How do you do Sacred Edge? P? Oh, that's like not nearly enough. Can you do, trying to think of, like, if there's some way you could Guts Crush here, but I guess not. Alright, anyway. Just curious. Nice. Was this a throw attempt? No, you just did 6p. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, he couldn't back up. He was... Hold on. Look at his inputs. Look at his inputs. He's holding back, and then he realizes, like, oh shit, I'm not going anywhere, because he's proximity blocking the star that's just off the screen, so he couldn't walk backwards because he's blocking. He needed to, like, jump or IAD back. He just wanted to get out of DP range, I guess. It's pretty funny. What's Guts Crush? Guts Crush is just like a term. It doesn't really... I don't know. It's kind of like a loose term, but it basically just means a combo route that you use specifically to kill them, where it's specifically good when they're in Guts, because you're doing a lot of little hits typically. So like when you see somebody do like jump P, and you know they're just doing a lot of little hits, typically those kind of combos are good at killing someone when they're really low, as opposed to doing big hits. Like another really good example is Venom in Exerd, when you would just end your combo with 6H into Dark Angel. I mean, that's just it's really just a combo that is gonna kill, but it's like a Guts Crush because it's specifically good at killing through someone's guts. Yeah. It's not really like a... I don't know. It's a pretty new term, and it's not... I don't know. I don't think that many people use it. I don't really use it that much. I'm not really sure why I used it there, but... What happened here? You were winning by so much. What did you try to do? DP? Why'd you get hit? Oh yeah, you tried to DP. You got 2H. Yeah, you got 2H. I mean, this DP would not have been good anyway, because I think if he does this, I'm pretty sure it's like an auto safe jump. If he does Gunflame FRC and then jumps, let's see. Oh, well, he might not have been blocking. I have to see his inputs if he was blocking or not. Was the soul blocking? Yeah, see, the soul wasn't blocking. So, if he was blocking, I'm pretty sure he would have blocked that. Oh, nice walk under. That was pretty sketchy, though. Yeah, Lush Shaker at the end of Millia strings, yeah. Or Millia combos, yeah. Okay. Alright, try to hard read the burst, that's okay. Let me think about this for a second, actually. I don't think in this game... Like in Exerd, you could just do a burst safe route instead of hard reading the burst, but I don't think Greed Sever has enough hit stun in this game. Although this was counter hit. Actually, so on counter hit, yeah. So here's a little something. 'Cause your level of play is obviously already high. Also, I don't know if this person is here, saddestmoney. What does your Twitch name say? Your username is saddestmoney on Twitch, yeah. Is he here? Let me see. No, he's not here. Alright, well, when you watch this, just know that your level of play is obviously, you know, you're from what I've seen so far, you're not bad. That's for sure. So, you know, the stuff that I point out is probably going to be small things, not big picture stuff. Obviously, you have the big picture stuff already. So, for example, here, off this counter hit, the hard read, you can go for the hard read. You know, I do it too sometimes, but I tend to try not to do that. I think overall, it's, I don't know. If you're playing a character where the hard read is going to get you a ridiculous punish as opposed to, you know, burst safe route. But for the most part, I would just try to do some kind of burst safe route. I'm not familiar enough with Kai in this game, but the stuff that you would do in Exerd, I think, should still work. So, like, let's see. So, for example, yeah, see, like, you can do this. And if he bursts, you're going to block his burst. I think, actually, you're supposed to do, like, this. Oh, that doesn't combo. Not bad. I'm not trying to do that. Gotta hit him, like, real low. But, you get the idea. So, basically, I'm, like... and let me make a note. We'll look at this in training mode afterwards. I'll just make a note here. Counter hit, Greed Sever, burst safe route. So it'll be easier if I can actually make them burst. Counter hit means they can't burst it? No, they can burst it. The difference is that the reason I'm mentioning the counter hit specifically here is because on a normal hit Greed Sever, I don't think there's enough untechable time that you could run up and juggle 2P like this. But on counter hit, it's untechable to the ground, basically, on a ground hit like this. So that means you can go for a burst safe route by, you know, picking them up with 2P. Oh my god. We weren't that far into the round. Okay. So yeah, we'll look at that more in training mode. It'll be easier when I can actually have the dummy burst, and then we can look at, you know, burst safe routes. What did you try to do here? Just jump away? Yeah. Ooh. Okay. I think, just for your reference, I don't know if you know this, and maybe, you know, like me, I know lots of stuff that I don't do in matches yet, so I don't know if you know this and you just didn't do it right, but when you have your back to the wall like this, and you hit that counter hit 6H like that, if you move forward, even if you don't move forward, they're not going to hit the wall. Yeah. See, like, you moving forward, you move the screen. So you actually have to, like, wait for them to bounce back. I would be surprised. Let me take control here for one more second. I would be surprised if you can even get, like, a normal conversion off of this. Like, I don't think you can get another 6H when your back is to the wall like this. Let's see. Yeah, see, even without moving, they're not going to bounce off the wall. I wonder if I can move back to make them... No. Yeah, so you're not going to get anything off this. Maybe you do, like, stun edge FRC or something. I don't want to... Okay. Don't want to exit the replay again. Nice. I like the safe approach there with the tech. Nice. Actually, I want to see something here. It looks like... yeah, okay, so you try to do a running jump and you just missed it. Maybe. Actually, it's unclear. But here I would do a running jump if that's not what you were trying. Although... Let's see. Yeah, like, I don't know if you were trying to do this or not, because you just did a normal jump. The problem with normal jump is that your low threat is weaker. If you just jump and you don't dash, your low threat is just not as scary, because you can't do 5k. So, typically, with these kind of Okies, and if this is not a Kai exclusive thing, with Venom, with Soul, you want to do a running jump. And that way you land point blank, and you have a better low threat. Oh my god. You know, something like that. I cannot get this run. I'm not used to the timing of charge stun edge. There we go. So yeah, that's also something to keep in mind. It's just going to make your mix-up a little bit better. I want to learn Venom. Is there anything that he does that can't be done on pad? I don't think so. I think you're good to go, man. Where's the wall bounce? Yeah, with his back to the wall like that, I don't think he can get the wall bounce on that 6H. Okay. Let's see something. So I would say the biggest hole I'm seeing right now, because your offense or your combos are good. There's probably plenty of stuff you could add into your offense, but it's not. You're not doing anything wrong in your offense. There's just room to strengthen it. I would say the one area where there's stuff that you're not doing that is standing out to me is on defense. So we're going to pay a little more attention to that. It seems like you're not really using either Faultless or IB really at all. Which, against better players, you do need to mix those in both to some degree. Nice punish. Oh, you tried. That was a really good attempt. You're going to the Greed Severwell a little too much also, but the amount of damage you've done from it is still way higher than the damage you've taken from it, so I think it's okay. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. What did you try to do here? Oh, you tried to do 6H? Wait, how did you not get 6H, actually? What? Hello? Why is that 5H instead of 6H? The input clearly shows that he's been holding forward for like a year. I'm very confused by this. Because at first I thought you did this intentionally, because what you could have done here for an easy conversion, if you just wanted to keep it real simple since this was a weird situation, you could just do 5H Stun Dipper and just take the easy knockdown. What you did is better, probably. I don't know why you didn't get 6H here. That's unfortunate. And 5H is probably a little too fast to realize that you didn't get 6H. Although you can cancel pretty late, but yeah. I don't blame you. That's really weird. Oh, it Gatlings into 5H. Is that what's happening? Let's see. Let's look to see if we can see the cancel. I rewound pretty far. I wonder if that is what's happening. Interesting. That probably is what's happening. I'm gonna look at that in training mode for myself, actually. I'll write that down also. We'll look at that after. Damn, he hit you with the disrespect. Rude. Oh, and these are all different, violent, yeah. Alright, so this is against Testament. Testament will be a good... Yeah, see, you're just blocking. Now, again, don't get me wrong. If you were newer, I would have no problem with this. But we're looking for areas of improvement, and you are already above the beginner bar. Healthily above the beginner bar. So I would say that is an easy area that you could try to work on. And it's a good area to work on because it helps you in every matchup, right? And it's also the kind of thing that is going to take you time. The earlier you start practicing that kind of stuff, the better, because it takes time. First of all, you have to learn the mechanics of just the physicality, what it feels like to IB into Faultless. But then once you have the feel for doing it, then you have to learn when to do it in specific matchups. What are you looking to IB? What are you looking to Faultless? Faultless, I think, is a little bit easier, because typically it's not very specific things that you're looking to Faultless. Typically it's more, you know, 2Ps and 2Ks, stuff like that. The beginning of strings, good defense. See, like, and that's the thing, your defense is good already. So adding in just and you don't have to. So the other thing is, like, you don't think that you have to IB everything or Faultless everything. I think most people, even maybe myself included, probably myself included, IB and FD too much. But I also think if you're gonna be wrong in one direction, I think maybe it's better to do it a little too much than a little too little. That's that tricky Kai setup. Where you like dash through their ground bounce. But when I first started playing in like really seriously with Axacore Vanilla, my mentality was I'm gonna IB everything. Why would I not IB everything? It reduces block stun. But there are a lot of downsides to IBing. You don't want to try to be, you know, IBing everything. So it's the kind of thing that you really do want to have a target. Nice. I mean, this match went really well. I kind of want to watch this match again because I was talking through a lot of it. Let's watch the third one. Maybe we'll go back. That match was kind of quick. That's like the people who start playing Third Strike and try to parry everything. Yeah, exactly. It's a tool, and you wanna be proficient with the tool. But part of the proficiency is knowing when to use the tool, right? You don't walk around trying to use a hammer to fix everything in your house, right? The hammer has its purpose, and you want to use the hammer when you're putting a nail in the wall. You know, if you're trying to, you know, I don't know, do something else where you need pliers, you're not going to try to use a hammer. That analogy got weak at the end, but you know what I'm saying. Well, I mean, now, so you got disrespected by the soul player, but now you're the one doing the disrespecting. Okay. Okay. Oof. What kind of wake-up option is that? So this is probably a matchup where we can talk about the actual matchup a little bit. Oh, nice. Whiff punish. Okay. What'd you do? Why'd you stand up? You stood up for like a millisecond and got hit low. Oh, but why are you mashing P so much? You're gonna have to be careful with that. So this is good though, because, and this is I didn't even notice this. Oh wow, it didn't combo though. This is also a good example of why mashing P is, mashing anything, but usually something like 2P. Why it's in general not good, right? Like I think people know that mashing like this is generally not good, but have you ever thought about why it's not good? Like what's wrong with it? This is actually a good example of kind of the main problem, is that, again, it is a tool to be used and you have to use it properly. From this range, if you're gonna mash 2P, you can't just mash 2P into itself. Like someone just said in chat, Zeklin, yeah, it's an issue of risk versus reward. You are risking a lot by hitting this button here. So if you are willing to take that risk, you want your reward to be worth it. You don't want your reward to be 1-2P. If all you're gonna get is 1-2P, what is the point? Why would you risk this? So if you're gonna do this, you should be hitting it one time and then hitting 2D, which actually it looks like you did on this last one. It was just too far to combo. But again, it's all about having a target for what you're doing. So, you know, from this range, it's just not, you know, you can maybe do like, you can maybe hit 2P and buffer far slash and then confirm into like 2S stun dipper or something. But, you know, if you're going to be doing this, you would rather be doing it when you're a little bit closer, so that if it actually works, you're getting better reward. You know what I mean? From this range, once you're getting pushed out this far, why hit a button? Just jump away. You've already weathered the storm. You got out of their offense effectively. You know? And the thing is this risk, like if he has so much meter, like look at this. Let me do this. It's gonna take me a couple tries to time it. If he just does this, you're gonna fucking explode. You are gonna fucking die. Like, you will actually almost die. That's not what I wanted. Oh, I guess that works too. Like, this is gonna do like 60%, and you're gonna be close to stunned. So, yeah, like this is not, the risk versus reward is like really bad here. So yeah, I think I've emphasized this point enough. But the reason that I'm also pointing it out is because this is good, because if you're, and we'll look for this a little bit more, if your mind while you're playing defense is thinking about hitting 2P, that's an easy thing that you can try to replace with looking for opportunities to FD or IB, or just trying them and just getting a feel for them. Again, you do want to do this sometimes. It's just be conscious of when you're doing it and try to make it worth it. You know, I'm not saying I don't do it. Everyone does it. You have to some extent. It's just that you want it to be worth it when you do it. I thought that was gonna be too high. I think you did also, so you didn't do the extension, the javelin. See, again. So this is something, like, again, this is not necessarily bad. I don't know that I would recommend you do this, but it is an option. It is a valid option that you could make an argument for. Okay, I'm not the type of player that would do this, but it worked, and I think you could make an argument for this, especially against this specific mix-up. But the point is, if you're gonna do this, if in your mind you're like, this Oki looks fake as hell, I don't believe this shit for a minute, I'm mashing, that's fine. But mash on something with intention, with, like, have a vision in your mind of what is going to happen when you hit them. Because here you risked, again, getting, like, counter hit jump est into ground bounce, into exploding for 2Ps. If you're going to wake up 2P, hit 2P close slash. And then, yeah, like, commit, you know what I mean? Have a vision of what you're trying to get out of it, and, and yeah. Sorry, I was reading chat. But yeah, have an idea of what you're going for. Don't just... This kind of mashing is just straight up bad. Because the risk versus reward is so skewed against you that it's just never going to be good. It's just never going to be good. Yeah. Like, if you're going to take the risk, get a reward when it works. Otherwise, what are you doing? Like, there is something to be said of the reward of... Anytime you're on defense and you can get the situation back to neutral, that is a reward in itself. So it's not like you got no reward here. You got a minuscule amount of damage and you got away from him when you were on defense. That is good. But it is not enough reward, in my opinion, to justify hitting 2P like that. Especially when you could very easily get infinitely higher reward for just hitting something like 2P close slash. Nice. See, like, and this is better. Like, yeah, you kind of mashed on 2P here, but it was at a range where this works, right? Because when the 2P works, yeah, you're mashing on 2P, but you have time to hit confirm it into sweep, which is what you did. So at this range, you can actually just mash on 2P if that's what you feel like doing, Again, whether that's recommended or not is a different story, but at least you're getting a reward here. So just a little thing, you've done this a few times in some of the other matches also, where you FRC and then jump. I don't know that I recommend that. The nice thing about this FRC is that it's very tricky because they are out of block stun, and you can almost like trick them by trying to like test their reactions, because a lot of people, when they see the FRC, they know that they're not in block stun, so they'll try to hit a button. So if you jump in this spot, it's kind of easy to get like air thrown or something like that, or get anti-aired, because they're not in blocks or anything like that. Whereas if you just dash up a little bit and hit close slash, I think you might be surprised at how frequently that works. Or like another good thing you can do is dash up 2P close slash, and what'll happen sometimes is people will react, but because of their reaction time, they don't hit the button fast enough, and their button will actually get buffered, and they'll counter hit themselves because their button will come out after your 2P instead of before your 2P. So this is the kind of spot where it's good to frame trap people, because it's easy to get them to flinch because they see the FRC and they don't want to get taken advantage of, right? They want to stop you from repressuring. Like this. See, look, this is exactly what I was just talking about. Exactly. Right? You FRC'd and it ran up in his face. I bet you he hit a button after your 6P hit. Yeah, he tried to grab and got counter hit. It's a perfect example of what I was just describing. And yeah, Kai 6P 6H is an easy, like, built-in frame trap, right? So if you just want something easy, that's an easy one to go to. Another good one, like I said, is 2P close slash. But this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You can do this. Was that also off of Stun Dipper? So you do it already. Yeah, this is off of Stun Dipper. Okay, perfect. So you do it. Beautiful. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Shit. The cross-up horsey. So yeah, let's just look at a couple of super quick things in training mode. I'm just curious about the burst safe route. But yeah, overall, I would just say you're at a point where, you know, your offense is pretty good. you maybe again there's stuff that you could work in, a little more 2p pressure, some different frame traps, but what you're doing isn't bad. It's just there's more you could build up. I would concentrate at this point on your defense, because your defense, like if you were to graph how, like out of 10 your offense is, you know, a 7 or an 8 or something like that, probably about a 7, but your defense is like a 4 or a 5. You know, your defense is good and it's solid, but you're not using all the tools to really maximize getting away from your opponent and messing up your opponent's pressure. So let's see if I can do this here. What's the best way to do this? Maybe something like this. Let's see if I can time this. Okay, so something like... I should have hit a different button. What's a better button to hit? Maybe I can time that better, actually. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna work. I think I burst a little soon, but... How is that not counter hit? It's an awkward input that I don't have to do with Venom, but it will work. Oh, because it changed into K? I see. So how can I... of course. That's the way. I've never had to do this with Venom. Yeah. So you can do a burst safe route here pretty easily. Let me make them burst a little bit later. Is that not burst safe? I think I have to get him higher. I think I OTG'd him, though. So that might not be burst safe. I think you can do two 5Ps, though, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, this is just like, again, this is like a very... I guess not very advanced, but this is an advanced thing. The idea here is, and this probably a lot of people watching can benefit from this, because a lot of characters do this. Soul can do this, Mei can do this, just like any character with a good jab that Gatlings into itself, or in this case, because we're doing the air combo, we're doing, you know, a low jab into a high jab. But basically, if you want to make your combo burst safe, and Kai does this on the ground as well, like the way I'm doing it in the air. So let's look at a simpler example, actually. So let's do something like this. Wait, let me do this. Okay. So if I do this, so basically what you do is when you're doing, okay, let me actually back all the way up. So one of the things we talked about during the beginner tournament on Tuesday, somebody asked like what are good beginner tips like for literally like day one. And it's a great question because it's something that I want to make a short video on at some point, because there are certain things that I tell every player that I've helped literally the first day. Like people that are brand new to Guilty Gear, I tell them this stuff day one. And the thing is, it's some of it you could argue that it's advanced, but the point is that it is so fundamental and so important that you want to develop good habits early, because it's way easier to develop the habit earlier than have to unlearn something and relearn it a different way later. It is, I'm sure you've all experienced this. You practice something like a combo, and then you find an easier way to do it, and it's way harder to unlearn it the wrong way and relearn it the right way than it was to learn it the first time. And in your mind, you're like, if I just knew this the first time, I could have saved myself so much trouble, right? So the first thing that I tell people is day one, learn how to throw OS. When you throw, you should always be throw OSing. Well, not always, but you know, if you're throwing forward, which is most of the time, you want to be throw OSing. And this is one that kills people, because they learn to play the game and they're like, how do you throw in this game? Forward H, got it. And they live their whole Guilty Gear career you know, doing this. Then a year later, you tell them, hey, why don't you throw us? And you tell them what a throw us is, and they can't do it because they just spent a year where in their brain, when they want to throw, they hit one button. And hitting 2 buttons is like out of this world, where if you just told them that day one, they're good to go, you know? So throw OS is #1 thing. If you're a new Guilty Gear player and you don't throw OS, this is the first thing you should learn how to do. And you should really force yourself to do it in matches until it becomes natural. Should I always air throw OS as well? That's a more tricky question. That is more specific to the character, because air throws have more variance between whether you want to throw forward or back. Usually on the ground, you're trying to throw forward, right? When you're on offense. In the air, like Kai also is a weird example. Like Kai's air throw reverses your sides. If I hit, I think my camera is flipped, so I don't know which way you're seeing me. But if Kai is holding to the right, he's gonna throw them to the left. So, you know, there's all sorts of intricacies because you can only throw OS forward. You cannot throw OS backwards, because if you try to throw OS backwards, you get faultless, right? So you can only throw OS forwards. So if you need to back throw them, then you just back throw them, right? So what is throw OS again? There's a video that I already made, !throws, that goes through all about how to throw properly. So I don't want to go through it again, so I want to get through more replays, but you can check that out. The #2 thing besides throw OS, and that's where we started with this, is I highly recommend you get into the habit, and this is a weird one, and it's extra weird if you don't do it already and you have to retrain yourself, is that you should always be holding back or down back, unless you cannot for whatever you're trying to do. But anytime you can, you should. So for example, when I'm doing this combo, what is this combo? 2P, 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 2D, right? See my inputs. Right? I'm holding down, I do 4 jabs, and then I sweep, okay? But it's better, I can do the same combo, and I can hold 1 instead of 2. So I can hold down back and do this same combo, right? And a lot of other combos, if I want to do 2P close slash sweep, I can do 1P, 4S holding back, and then 1D, right? See my inputs here? Well, not very good. See my inputs here? 1P, 4S, 1D. Does this make sense? Yeah, Zeta, that's a really good thing, by the way. On throws, try to think about it like it's a 2-button throw game is a really good way to help yourself think about it. But you see what I'm doing here? This is just strictly better than doing like 2P, doing 1P. The benefit is if they burst, you have a chance, and in this case it's a very good chance, that you're going to block their burst. Or their dead angle sometimes even. Sometimes they dead angle with a weird time, like late in the block stun, and you just block their dead angle. You didn't even mean to, right? You weren't even trying to bait their burst. They just burst into your burst safe pressure or combo, right? So going back to this now, look, I'm just doing my combo. I'm not doing anything different. I'm just doing my combo, but I blocked his burst. Whereas if I hold down, I get hit by the burst. And there's tricks that you can learn that let you do this even better ways with like more advanced option selects, and that's what I'm about to show here. So for example, that burst safe route I was doing, let's look at it again actually. So if I do this, whoops, if I do this, and we counter hit him, that's not what I wanted. Didn't get it. Whoops. I'm so bad at this actually because Venom doesn't have to do this. I need to burst a little sooner. Let's try that. Still not bursting soon enough. I did it perfectly the first time. Maybe I should set a macro, actually. Maybe that would be easier. There we go. So, what's happening here? I was talking about other tricks to get this to work. So, without getting too into the weeds here, what's happening is when he bursts, your jab is whiffing, and you're recovering fast enough to block the burst, right? So in this case, like what I'm trying to do in my combo is 2p, 5p, 5p, right? But if I just do exactly that, see how it's like hard to see in real time, but my jab is coming out, it's whiffing because he's bursting, and then I'm hitting my second jab, and that jab is also coming out, and then I'm getting hit by the burst. So the thing is, you don't want that other jab to come out. Once your first move whiffs, you don't want anything else to come out, right? See how I'm getting multiple jabs after he's already burst? So what you can actually do is you can hit P plus K for your punch button. And what happens is if you're holding back, see how when I hit P and K, I get faultless? But if I've already done one jab, look at my inputs. I'm hitting P and K. See this? Whoops. See how I'm hitting P and K, but I'm still getting 5P? And I'm holding back. The reason for that is because after the 2P hits, I can Gatling into 5P, but I cannot Gatling into faultless. So the way it winds up working is that if your 5P whiffs, when you hit P and K again, instead of getting another 5P, you're going to get faultless, because faultless overrides it when you're not in a Gatling. And then it looks like this, if I can do it again. Again, Venom doesn't really do this, so... And also, again, I'm going to reiterate, some of these are not foolproof. Like, you're not always going to block their burst. But the point is that you give yourself a chance. It's a free chance. Why would you not, you know, go for this? I'm missing it. I should just set a macro, honestly, but I'm lazy. But what you should see is, I'm not hitting it fast enough. I know why, actually. There. That's what you should see, is a jab whiffing, because he bursts, and then I immediately faultless. I didn't get the faultless there, but... Anyway, you get the idea. So, yeah. So, the point is, you know, you want to develop good habits early, because it's much harder to unlearn and relearn this stuff later than it is to, you know, compared to just learning it the right way at the beginning. This is great when I do 2H's ABBA. It's usually only really good for like jabs and stuff, because the thing is, the button before it needs to whiff through their burst, and then you need to recover in time. So it's just going to depend on what you're doing, you know. What's up, Conical? I wanted to say canonical. But yeah. So anyway, all right. So that was long, but that wasn't all directed at Saddest Money. That was some general stuff for everybody also. So let me mark him complete, and we will move on. But yeah, overall good stuff. Overall good stuff. I think you just need to work on your defense. And again, just, you know, just spend a set trying to, oh, you're here. Yo, what's up? I don't know how much of this you caught, because I looked for your name in chat, and I don't think you were here earlier, but 5-second summary, good stuff. Your offense was good. I think the biggest area that you could improve in right now is your defense. So I would spend like a set and just force yourself to just like faultless everything. And then play, you know, a set the next day and try to IB everything. And kind of overuse both mechanics, and just get a feel for the physicality of executing them and what it feels like. And then once you get comfortable with them, then rein it back in and start thinking about what you want to IB and what you want to faultless in specific matchups, and try to have a focused, goal of IBing. General rule of thumb, you want to FD when they're close, doing little hits, jabs, and kicks and stuff, and then you want to IB when they're further away, doing like slashes and hard slashes. That's like a very general rule of thumb, but it's pretty accurate most of the time. All right, so let me mark you complete everywhere. All right, you're complete there. You're complete here. And next up is Seth, who is the first person to have a second redemption. So we saw Seth last week. So we're gonna look for improvement. Seth plays Order Soul. So we just have to find Seth's matches, which could take a second. Wait, who is this? Oh, mcna. I didn't realize the Zap you played was... I just, like, noticed KB Nova as I was looking. Here we go. Of course, it's the last one. Oh boy, time to disappoint everyone again? Impossible. Impossible. Alright, let me make a marker. Seth, Order Soul. Alright, let's take a look. So what did you say in the... So these are from Tuesday, from the beginner tournament. Let me pause this for a second. These are from the beginner tournament. Level of competitors was pretty high. I agree with that. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Let's take a look. So these were all from all three of these opponents were from the tournament? Uh-oh. I mean, this was more reasonable, but this is scaring me a little bit. We talked about this, but this one was more reasonable because you were way closer, so the gun flame is actually reasonable from that range. You were just too far, but the the idea scares me a little bit. Okay, this is actually a good example of what we were just talking about. By the way, you were covered here. You could have blocked this burst. You ever hear me when I'm playing and I say, I could have blocked that, I wasn't blocking? That's me verbalizing that I wasn't doing the right thing, because if I was holding back or down back like I should have been, I would have blocked their burst, or sometimes it's their dead angle. So here, you were holding down forward. Oh, so you were trying to move forward, so it's understandable. You were getting ready to move forward, you were moving the stick towards forward, so it's understandable. And sometimes, sometimes it's going to happen. But just for, since we were just talking about it, just to point it out, if you had been holding down back here, your 2D recovered, you would have blocked the burst. But again, there's nothing wrong with trying to move forward there. Ooh. Were you trying to use the explosion here? Yeah, is it H? Is H how you do the explosion? Because I see your inputs, you input H. Does that even work? Does this even work if you time it right? I feel like the explosion might linger too long for this to even work. It does? Okay. Yeah, but see, you still get punished though, right? Yeah, I don't think this is, this close, I don't think this is where you want to be. Yeah. This close, I don't think you want to go for that. Nice. Okay. Very reasonable burst. Nice. Okay. So how did he get out here? Revolver. Okay. So this is a good little lesson that probably a lot of people can appreciate also. this is kind of the other side of what we were just talking about, and this is a good example of why faultless is good, right? Why is faultless good? He pushed you out, and again, this is so great. A lot of what I keep talking about, we're able to see perfect examples very quickly. So this is fantastic. I mentioned as a general rule of thumb, when you're first working on implementing faultlessing and IBing, an easy rule of thumb to start with is faultless when they're close, especially if they tend to do a lot of 2Ps or 2Ks, and then IB when they're further away doing their like slashes and far slashes and sweeps and stuff, right? So look at how effective this was. He faultlessed 2Ps, and it pushed you back so far that you're sweep whiffed. And this is exactly why faultless is good. This is exactly when you're in your mind, you're thinking about I want to alleviate the pressure with faultless. This is exactly the result you're hoping for. You're hoping that you push them out and that they whiff a button because they misspace something, because they are accounting for their own space. Here, you were not accounting for the faultlessing, right? You weren't accounting for the extra pushback, so your move whiffed. So the other side of that is, and this is a pretty advanced thing, and it's definitely easier said than done, but I'm going to mention it anyway, is once you start really trying to zero or hone in your offense, one of the things you can start to look at is adjusting your offense based on their blocking. And sometimes it's their blocking pattern, which clues you in on what to look for, and then part of it is also reaction. So I do this with Venom as often as I can. If I see that they're faultlessing a lot, I'll do certain block strings that are intended to kind of punish them for faultlessing, doing stuff like close /3 straight into carcass, because they are, first of all, they're using meter, and second of all, there's a couple points actually. So number two, they're adding block stun to themselves, which means that certain things that would be easy for them to poke out of become impossible or hard to poke out of. And number three, which maybe I should double check in training mode. I believe it's the same in this game. But I guess I'll preface it by saying we'll look at it after to double check. I know for sure in Exert, and I think it's the same in this game, if you are faultlessing and you go from down back or back to up back, you will not jump. You will block high. When you're faultlessing, you are kind of stuck to the ground. So again, if you have block strings that a good answer is for them to jump out of, and they are faultlessing, a lot of the time it becomes a lot harder for them, and they will miss their opportunity to jump out because they actually have to release their faultless and then jump and usually re-faultless again because they don't want to get hit on the way up. So, again, this is very advanced stuff. So, don't think that I'm telling you to implement this stuff right now. It's just, stuff to think about, because the general point I was going to make here is not necessarily to this detailed of a degree, but in general, you want to be paying attention to how your opponent is defending. Are they quick to jump out of your pressure? Are they quick to mash out of your pressure? Are they not really doing anything? Are they just sitting there and blocking? Are they IBing everything? You don't have to get super advanced, but just seeing this kind of stuff is important because you do want to be able to adjust what you're doing based on how they're blocking. Like in this case, your sweep whiffed and it really weakened your pressure, and you tried to kind of fix it by jumping back in, but that was not, there was just too much of a gap because your sweep whiffed. So with more experience in this kind of situation, you might have gone with a different option like 5H to try to close the gap that he created by pushing you out. You know what I mean? Or done like Bandit Revolver, something that has a tighter gap as opposed to jumping in. Yeah, Rocket is a reasonable thing here. So, again, just something to think about. This is pretty advanced, so I'm not necessarily telling you, that you should work on this right now, but it's just something to keep in mind going forward. Been playing as a casual my whole life, and I'm trying to adjust little by little more seriously. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty advanced thing. Okay. I like the use of rocket. I like the wake up super too. I do not hate it. Okay. So this is a common situation that you should start looking for as an Order Soul player. I'm sure you've probably noticed this. This comes up all the time. Once you start using 2D rocket as pressure, this is going to happen sometimes where they just get hit by your 2D and then the rocket juggles them and they can tech. So this tech situation, you know, some tech situations are going to be, what's the word? They're going to be unique, for lack of a better word. You know, you're not going to be able to prepare. You're going to have experience to deal with the situation in the moment, you know, by instinct. This is an example of a tech situation where you can totally be prepared for this because it should come up constantly and you should kind of know your options here. Looking for air throw afterwards, looking for DP afterwards, just charging afterwards if you think they're going to tech and run away. Oh, God. As I hit the button, I was like, it's not the right button. Because you were very passive here. You didn't really do anything, right? And he was also passive. What you have to realize here is that you have the advantage here. Anytime in general, again, this is a general rule of thumb, anytime the opponent is above you in Guilty Gear, you generally have the advantage. Because you have the option of air throwing, which is going to be basically anything they do. Unless their name is Angie. No, I would say you still have the advantage. It's just less of an advantage. Yeah, initiative is a good word. Yeah, initiative. No, even Million Haas. The thing is, like, you know, it's a general rule of thumb. You know, just that the point is that your options are generally going to be better than theirs, right? Because especially if they've double jumped. If they've double jumped, it's, you know, really not even debatable. Once they've committed their double jump, their options are so small usually. But yeah, this is just a situation that I would look at a little bit more. And it's pretty easy to look at too. You just go into training mode, make sure the dummy is set to tech forward, and just do 2D rocket, and just get a feel for how do I air throw them, what's the DP timing, are they going to tech over me, do I need to DP backward, just get familiar with this situation. And the thing is, even though they have options, you will probably be more familiar with the situation than they are if you look at it in training mode, you know? So you'll be better prepared for the situation. Nice. Very nice. Usually react with super jump for the grab, but my reaction at the start was pretty slow. Yeah, sometimes you need warm-up time. For sure. For sure. Alright, he tricked you a little bit there, but that's okay. So, I think you mentioned already that you saw my... I guess I'll just show it again real quick. We'll look at it here. So I showed this during the tournament in training mode. But for the people who haven't seen it yet, I've also shown it on my stream. I think I showed it in both beginner tournaments and I've shown it on my stream before. But a good way to deal with Justice missiles... So the thing with Justice is like, she needs momentum to get set up, but once she gets set up, she can continue that momentum, because a lot of characters really struggle to move forward, they get pushed back, so she can just keep, you know, nuke. So once you've kind of lost the small battle here, you wanna consider taking a small hit and accepting your defeat to get back to neutral, essentially, and not let her carry the momentum. And what I mean by that is, a lot of characters, if you have a far slash that extends your hurt box, which most of them do, probably all of them, I don't know if there's any exceptions off the top of my head, probably all of them is a safe bet. But the thing with the nuke that you have to realize is that it's 4 hits. So when it detonates, it does 4 very quick hits, and it's the 4th hit that knocks you down. The first 3 do not knock you down. So what happens is, if you extend your hurt box into it, it will hit you, but it will hit like your outstretched arm, and the first hit will hit you, but then immediately your character, the next frame, goes into their hit reel animation, and you no longer have a hurt box here where the nuke is exploding. So the rest of the hits are all going to whiff. And because the rest of the hits don't even knock you down, you won't get knocked down. You will literally just take 1 hit, and you're basically free to go. And so you basically neutralized her offense, at the cost of one measly hit, you know? So like, look at how little damage this is doing to me. It's like, it's completely insignificant, right? But I completely negate the missile. So just something to think about there. I think like every character can do this. There's probably a couple that can't, but for the most part, oh, did I not? Yeah, I love sharing that information because I hate Justice. So the more people that can bully Justice in the world, the better, in my opinion. So like, this would have been another good spot. See, the thing is, like, once she knocks you down like this and she gets set up, this is such a disadvantageous position. So you got to just kind of accept it and just eat the hit and try to, you know, undo it. This is, yeah, that's a really good point, Anon. You can do this with Eno notes also. I think it's less common against Eno notes because it's extra effective here because Justice typically cannot do anything to punish this. She would have to like be ready for you to do it and then do like Force Break or a Michael Sword maybe or something. But the thing is, if you do it fast enough, she is probably still recovering from a nuke. So the odds of her actually punishing this are really low. Whereas with Eno, I think it's more common that Eno could actually hit you for trying to do this. But the same concept applies, absolutely. I'm trying to think. There was a setup where I used to do this to Eno sometimes. When she would send the note along the ground, I would do like 2K, and it would go just far enough that the note would be exploding in front of me, and then I could jump away from it. So it is good to know stuff like that sometimes. So this was good. This is a good example. So I would say, you know, you probably shouldn't have done Rocket here. You had time to hit confirm this. So you could do something else. I guess you had no meter, so you could just go into charge. Although I guess this also gets you charged. It's a little more damage. You had meter to burn. I don't hate it, actually, the more I think about it. It's fine, actually. Just gets you a little more damage. It's a little unconventional, but I don't think there's anything really wrong with this. But you were ready to chase the tech, so that was good. If you're not going to FRC it, did you miss the FRC? No, you just didn't go for it. I think this is not as good if you're not going to FRC it, though. I think I would do something else if you're not going to FRC it. For exactly this reason. You just don't have enough time to chase them down. And the thing with Order Soul is you did the work, and you got the hit, and you got the knockdown. The last thing you want to do is let them get away for no real benefit, you know? Oh, you try to super jump? Yeah. But even still, like, in the corner like this, even with the FRC in the corner especially, I don't know that I would do this. I would just take the knockdown. I think he's just too strong with a knockdown. You're sacrificing the best situation that Order Soul just wants all the time for, you know, a scramble and a little more damage. It's not really worth it in my opinion. Nice. See, like, this is reasonable because you just did a raw sweep, so you don't know it's going to hit, so that's totally fine. But when you have the hit confirm, you know, 2K close / 2S, you should be hit confirming that and not doing rocket or block hit or whatever. But overall, I like that you are using Gunblaze less and using rocket and other things way more. Alright, so this is against Bazooka. Nice. So this is also, let's look at this for a second. Here's another little wrinkle with this. If you do 2K into, not that, into charge, you are also giving yourself the ability to block a burst on the sweep. So what we were talking about before, where you can do like 2P, 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 2P sweep, Order Soul can make like basically the whole thing burst safe because he can be holding down back during the 2Ps, And then when you do the sweep, you can, this looks hilarious, you can just do a charge and immediately cancel it, and it will be burst safe also. So something else to just have in your repertoire, because usually what you would do is cancel into charge here and get some amount of charge. And you can probably even, yeah, you can even get level 1 and still block the burst. Well, he burst pretty late, so maybe that's not true, actually. He burst really late. But yeah. I wonder if... Let me see something, actually. I mean, I'm pretty sure this always works. Let me see something. Return. What did you do before this? Okay, let me do, let me go from here. Okay. Yeah, see? This is like all burst safe. Because I keep doing 2Ps, and those are all going to be burst safe. And then at some point... so if I do the right number... If you can get the right range, the 2D should whiff under. Yeah, like that. I don't think I could do it in this recording because he's bursting too soon. But, yeah, if you just kept doing 2P until the max range and did sweep, it would be burst. This would be 100% burst safe, I think. And we'll look at that in training mode after. I'll write it down. So I'm curious myself. You got to realize a lot of this stuff is also, you know, a good opportunity for me to test some stuff, and just really get some of the details about some of the characters that, you know, maybe are different between this and Exerd, or, you know, this character obviously doesn't exist in Exerd. But yeah. And again, that's a pretty advanced thing. So I'm not necessarily telling you that that's what you should work on. I'm just making you aware. Because it's a pretty advanced thing to adjust your combo, whether they have burst or not. It's something that you kind of have to be thinking about before you get the hit. And the way I like to think of it is, in my brain I have like two modes, right? I have the they have burst mode, and then I have the they don't have burst mode. And so that way I kind of know what mode I'm in, and when I get a hit, it's easier for me to then know, okay, do a burst safe route if I can. Sometimes you can't, right? Sometimes the hit doesn't have a burst safe route, depending on your character. But if I can, I want to be prepared, and I'm already in the mindset to do my burst safe route. And vice versa, when they don't have burst, usually, not always, but most of the time, your burst safe route is going to do less damage than your non-burst safe route. Because usually your burst safe route involves a lot of punches and, you know, light hits and stuff that recover quickly. So when they don't have burst, you want to be in the mindset of don't bait their burst, which lately I've been really bad at, by the way. I think it has to do with net play, because I forget which side I'm on, so sometimes I think they have burst, but it's my burst, etc. But it's, you know, it's something that it takes work and it takes practice to have the awareness during the match to, wow, he blocked that. It takes practice to have that awareness during a match of tracking whether they have burst or not. Salty Sweet. I'll answer that in a minute. Let me get through this match. Someone answered. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, pretty simple. Yeah, the higher their guts, the less damage they take once they get to low life. Okay. I actually like that. Okay. Ooh, did you try to DP again? Unclear. It looks like you tried to rocket. Is his DP S or H? I forget now. It's H, isn't it? Oh, you tried to Gunblaze. Oh, Gunflame? Yeah. Okay. So these tech situations, again, this is something that you... Oh, it was Rocket. Okay, yeah. These tech situations, you know, after DP, after 2D, you know, Gunflame, FRC, these are situations that over time you will be familiar with, but if you want to speed that process up, you can look at them in training mode, especially the DP one. The DP one is extremely common. Don't be afraid to just DP them again. It, like, here, Bazooka keeps teching forward after your DP. If you notice that, you can be ready for it, right? Like the next time you hit him with DP, look for the forward tech and then just DP him again, right? Or just, your anti-air of choice. But if you want something that's going to, really make him think twice, you can DP again. Yeah, Nathan, 2 to 3 games when you submit. The form lets you submit 5, but I'm not gonna watch 5. I can't make it so the form only allows 3, so you can submit 2 to 3. If you submit more than 3, I will just watch the first 3. Yeah, 5H is a good one also. If they're teching forward, it's pretty hard to go wrong with 5H. 5H stance cancel, and then if you get a counter hit, it's party time. Ooh. In Exert, you would have died. Okay. He teched back there. Actually, it looks like you hesitated a little bit. I wonder, I don't know if you remember this or can tell by your inputs here. Were you, like, did you hesitate because you thought he might forward tech? You might not have even realized you did this, that you hesitated. It might have been instinctual because he's been forward teching. You might not have even realized. Okay, nice. So you kind of were ready. So that's great. That's fantastic. Nice. So I think we talked about this before, but I'll just mention it again. Anytime you are doing jump P or some kind of air-to-air, like here, so I'm gonna be a little bit harsher here, and maybe be a little more aggressive in my expectations of you, but I think it is fair to say that you had enough time here to see that he was in the air, right? By the time you did this air dash, and by the time you decided to hit this button, he was already almost landed. He had been in the air for a while. So you should have been prepared for an air-to-air hit confirm here, and done a few hits and hit confirmed into DP, into air DP. Yeah, I don't see the input here. So, and again, this is just something that you may have to play some matches and be completely focused. Like literally go into the match. Was it this stream earlier when I forced myself to do the 6P H dubious curve? It was this stream, wasn't it? It was like a couple hours ago. Sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes you have to go into the match and literally say out loud, I am going to do jump PP and hit confirm it into DP. And you do not think about anything else. The world could be exploding around you, and you are not thinking about anything else other than the one thing you're trying to do. So you might have to play, a set or some games with that mindset and just force yourself. And really, when I say force, I mean force it. Like spend the whole match just jumping around with jump P, trying to air-to-air them, and then hit confirming it into DP. You know what I mean? It's like you can go into training mode and practice it to get the muscle memory, but at some point you have to start doing it in matches, and that's like the biggest gap from knowing something exists to doing it every time in a match. There's all these steps, and this is the biggest gap, is going from being able to do it in training mode and having the physical execution to actually having the awareness in the match to do it. And the best way, in my opinion, to force yourself over that gap is to force it. And then by doing it a few times in a match, it'll become more natural to you. Okay, got him. Okay. Ooh, good. Okay. Oh, a little late. Good idea, though. I like the idea. So, what were we... That's unfortunate. The gun blaze barely hit him and turned him around. If the Gunblaze had whiffed, you'd have been fine. But the Gunblaze barely hit him, and so we turned around. That's unfortunate. What was I just starting to say? I forgot now. I got so distracted by this. I mean, overall, you played this pretty well. I think you definitely improved from last time. All right, let's watch this last one real quick. Biken, this is going to be tough because the amount of... I think most of the stuff that I would probably tell you here... Oh, here's another example. Right off the bat, this should have been a layup hit confirm into DP. And again, I'm saying should. It's, you know, it takes practice. Don't get me wrong. It's not, you know, it's not like a baby is going to do this, but this is something that is important that you need to spend some time working in. Tried to whiff her counters with 2D a lot. Yeah. That's good. That's definitely a good tool to use against her for sure. Yeah, so like a simple string like that, that's good awareness. Nice. Very good. That's fine. Sometimes you gotta swing, and if she counters, she counters, you know? Okay. So I guess one other thing that now I'm realizing it's more apparent in this matchup than it was in the other ones. You never really throw, so you and I think that's probably a side effect of, and I think we touched on this a little bit last week, which is, you know, your strings you were kind of defaulting to 2K close/sweep, right? And that's part of the problem. It's good to get you off the ground. You need a string to start with just to get off the ground and be able to play games. You need some base, some foundation. But there's a lot of problems that come with that you need to, once you do get that initial comfort level and that initial foundation, it's important that you expand in areas like that because there's a lot of downsides. And this is a good example of that downside, is that if you're always defaulting to 2K close/2D, you're not giving yourself opportunities to throw. And in this matchup, it's very important that your throw game is prevalent and, you know, kind of pushed to the forefront. Your grabs are more consistent after the tournament. Yeah, and I definitely don't doubt that, especially if you're, you know, you mentioned that you're trying to take your game to the next level. So I'm assuming that part of that is also that, you know, you don't have that much tournament experience. So playing in tournament, if you're not used to it, can definitely play into that for sure. But, you know, just in general, varying your block strings more to give yourself more freedom to throw more is going to be a major benefit for sure. Nice. She tried to follow us. Yeah, she's trying to follow us. If you're doing more after Seth, can you please save me for tomorrow? I got to dip soon. I would like to be in your chat. Yeah, absolutely, Megumi. No problem. Where are you on the list? Let me just look. Wait, I don't even... Oh, yeah. I wasn't going to get to you till tomorrow anyway. There's a bunch of people in front of you, so no worries. You're going to be tomorrow anyway. I like the simple string. You're doing better block strings than I was doing a couple hours ago. You're for Biken specifically, like, you're keeping your block strings very concise. It's impressive because, as I was saying when I was playing earlier, it's hard because, you know, it's the only matchup that you have to do that. So having the awareness and ability to turn it off and flip the switch is difficult sometimes. You're doing a great job though. I think you're playing the matchup really well. I think the Fafnirs are... So the thing with Biken is, in general, you want to try to avoid moves that have a lot of block stun and a lot of recovery. So even though Fafnir is a fantastic move in a vacuum, it is not the kind of move that I would want to be throwing out against Biken often, because moves like that, they have so much block stun and so much recovery that she can actually, like, she doesn't have to guess. She can just react to, like, oh, I blocked Fafnir, and I'm still in block stun, and he's still recovering. I think I'll do a counter. You know what I mean? You're kind of giving her the easy counters in those kind of spots. So I think Fafnir is so strong, you probably have to use it to some degree still in this matchup. But, you know, it's I don't know that I would use it the way you used it here as just like a poke. I would probably use it more... I would maybe look for some patterns or something where they're mashing or they're not respecting your pressure, and then use it as a frame trap. You know what I mean? Whereas in other matchups, it's like a super good poke. It's just super good in general in a lot of matchups, but it has a more wider range of application. Nice. Whereas in this matchup, I think you need to restrict the usage a little bit more, I guess is an easy way to say it. Ooh, what'd you try to do? Oh, you tried to TP. Reasonable. Reasonable. Nice. This is a punish, by the way. I don't know if you realize. She's has recovery when she lands from Tatami. So that was actually fantastic. Nice. Okay. 5D. I mean, you're legit like doing a better job in this matchup than I was with your block strings, because 5D is another really good tool because she wants to block, right? That's the same reason why throws are good. Any overheads are just better in this matchup. See, this is another example. I would be very careful with like level 2 rocket, even level 1 rocket. I think a really good bike-in will legit be able to react and just punish with a counter. I think they just have too much block stun and too much recovery. It's just a liability for you, I think. Nice. Okay. Your inputs... Oh. Wait, these are your tech inputs, right? Oh, okay. This is fantastic. We're going to talk about something else in training mode. This is the third thing that I tell beginners on day one. It's fantastic. I just realized I've never thought to show anybody this, but it was so clear here in this example. It'll be easier if I showed in training mode, though. And it's actually so funny now that I'm thinking about it, because it is completely like adjacent to the burst safe stuff we were just talking about. It's the exact same stuff. So let's look at a couple things. Let's just do order solars. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about the thing I was just mentioning. And that thing is how to tech properly. So this is something that I had been playing Guilty Gear for over 10 years and had never thought of. And again, it's the kind of thing where you just wish that there was somebody to tell you on day one, like, hey, there's a better way of doing this. And there's kind of no reason to not do it, and you should do it every time, and it'll just make your win percentage go up. And I was in Japan at Mikado playing in the arcade, and Sato, the Venom player, 310, he was watching me play, and after a set, I got up and he was like, hey, when you tech, you should tech like this. And my mind was fucking blown, and I immediately practiced it the next day in the afternoon. I went into training mode in the arcade and practiced it, and I have done it ever since. So the idea is, when you are teching, it's exactly the same option select that we were talking about before with the burst save. So when you're teching, instead of just holding back and hitting one button, if you hold a button and then hit another button to tech, Look at my input. Oh, what? Oh, I don't have any meter. I got negative penalty. Look what happens. I'm teching, but I don't get a jump P. So the problem is, you know, if you're trying to tech out of something and you're hitting a button a lot, sometimes you don't know when you're going to tech. You tech and you get your button and you get exposed. You get counter hit, or sometimes it's a really bad button and you whiff your button and then you're stuck. You can't do anything. Yeah, exactly. Instead of getting an attack, you get a faultless. I have negative penalty again. Yeah, when he showed me this, I was like, how did I never think of this before? It's so simple and so obvious, but I never thought of it. So the thing to realize with this is that you cannot tech forward and do this. It's the same idea as like a throw OS. If you do this when you're going forward, you're not going to get faultless. So this only works on a back tech. So when you're teching forward, you still need to, you know, time your tech and be careful that you don't get a button and that kind of thing. But for back tech, it's free. You just hold, I like to hold punch with my thumb. And then another level of this is instead of hitting one button, piano buttons. You can actually, you know, piano, I have negative penalty again. You can piano slash and kick, or you want to be careful with H because you'll get potentially slash back like I'm getting here. So I only do slash and kick, but that's enough. And then you get 2 tries at the tech. And if your first one succeeds, you'll get faultless, you know. So yeah, this is like a fundamental thing that you should be doing on day one. It's like, I consider this the proper way to attack. Yeah. Oh, you play with a modified pad? Yeah, yeah. With a pad, maybe you could like hold a shoulder button and then like, you know, hit like X square or something like that and like piano it like that. But at the very least, just hitting one button, you know, that's already a huge improvement. And when you hear me play, when you hear my inputs, you hear sometimes I'm mashing tech because it's like a weird combo. I don't know when I'm going to be able to tech. I'm literally holding P and holding back, and I'm just going like this between K and S. And then I get a ton of tech opportunities. But if any of them succeed, I know I'm not going to get a button. I'm going to get faultless. So yeah, that's like a really good fundamental thing. Okay, so let's just look at, I'm just curious for my own knowledge also. So let's see. We'll do it this way. Okay. Let's see. Oh, what? Where's my playback? Did my buttons get reset? Play memory. Hello? I thought this hit me. Yeah, I don't know if... See, Soul can make this burst safe. I think his sweep maybe goes a little bit further. Maybe if they're crouching, but I mean, in general, you just want to do as many. If your goal is to make this burst safe, you just want to do as many 2Ps as possible anyway. So you're giving them the most time to potentially burst. And when you do the sweep really far, there may be some timings where if they burst late, it'll whiff. But yeah. Yeah, this is burst safe. I wanted to confirm that also. So yeah, you can make your sweep burst safe by doing Can you mix 2K in, or does it extend too much? That's a good question. That might be the answer. I think that's gonna work. Maybe not. Whoops. I burst late. But that's what I was talking about. Sometimes they just burst late like that, and you have... The thing is, you're giving yourself a chance, right? It's not going to work 100%, but you're giving yourself a chance. So, yeah. Oh, wow. You can do it so far that it doesn't even reach. Yeah, his sweep definitely goes less range than normal soul. Normal soul has no problem doing this, I don't think. But anyway, you get the idea. Again, it may not be 100%, but if you block, 90, if you'd rather be 90% burst safe than 0%, right? So you might as well give yourself some chances. Anyway, good stuff. Definitely saw the difference from last week. I feel like you may be overcompensated, and so now you're using rocket and gunflame almost too much because you're getting like some hit confirms and then you're canceling into it. But it's easier to tone that back, right, than just using Gunblaze everywhere. So I think all you have to do is just make sure that when you're doing hit confirms, again, sometimes you're doing random sweep rocket and that hits, and that's to be expected. But at the very least, if you get this, you should be canceling in a stance almost all the time. And I think if you just do that, and I think that by itself will just make a big difference. Just letting your sweeps get knockdowns, and then just running your mix-up is already going to be good. Don't forget about this also, by the way. When they're waking up, this is really good. This beats a lot of people. You can beat a lot of people by just meeting them every time with this, because people mash the shit out of throw. So, but alright, man, good stuff, good stuff. Alright, let's continue. Already changing how I play since the tournament. I was able to win against a friend who has over 3,000 games. Nice, nice. What's lenient do? Just adds an input buffer? No, so it's specifically something they added for half circles, because before they added that, which was only like a couple months ago, you had to hit every input on the half circle. But there's some issues on PC where sometimes it drops corners and stuff, so they made it so you can miss some of the corners and it'll still give you a half circle. It's only for half circles, is my understanding. Gold experience, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'm glad to hear you are learning. That is the point after all. So, glad to hear it. All right, let's see who's next. Let me get out of this. Let's see. It looks like ultracloud is next. So we have to find his matches real quick. Wait. Here we go. All right. Let's see what he's got to say. Okay. Nothing about the matches, but that's fine. Don't have to leave a note. So I'm guessing 413. That's the beginner tournament, right? Yeah. So and I know Karas Gen was in the tournament, so I'm assuming, and so was Pythmir. Yeah, these have to be from the tournament itself. Oh, you're here. Good. Okay, cool. These are from the tournament, obviously, right? They're from Tuesday, and these are both two people that were in the tournament. So, oh, let me make a marker. Let me pause this. This is review. ultracloudx Milia. Alright. Alright, so let's see. Got the best song, so we're already off to a good start. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Love it. Absolutely love it. Super cheap. So, in Exerd, there were burst safe routes you could do like this off of Close Slash. But I don't know if they work in this game. So, and I'm not sure that I know enough about what they are. I think they're pretty complicated also. Wait, what just happened here? Okay. So this is something I would maybe not recommend round 1 against an unknown opponent. I get the idea here, obviously. It looked like he was backing up. but you did this pretty quick. You know, until you have a feel for the opponent, it's a little, you know, you're taking a risk there because you don't really know what they're going to do. And it backfired on you there. And it's not the end of the world, but, you know, just something to be careful about. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Oh boy. Is that accidental? What is the input for this? I feel like the input for this super is like different in every game. What is even the input for this? Is it quarter circle forward twice H? Yeah, I figured you tried to do H disc. Did it take one of your quarter circle forwards that was going the other way and then add it to this? Is this quarter circle forward twice H? Oh, it's 214236. That's not what it is in Exert, is it? Is that what it is in Exert? It's quarter circle back, half circle forward. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was like a charge move in one of the games. I thought it was a downwards charge. Maybe I'm thinking of Angie though. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, and you died for it. That sucks. She can run under Mistfinder? What? She can't do that in Exert, can she? I've never seen that before. Soul can also? This is so much higher than... I never really paid attention. Because in Exert, it's like more in the middle, isn't it? It's like higher in this game, it looks, I feel. Or am I just way off? I don't think I've ever seen this before. Yeah, in Exert, I'm pretty sure no one can do this. That's wild. Ooh, okay. You got called out there. Uh-oh. Alright, so I'm seeing a pattern of the Hail Mary bad moons, and believe me, I get it. I throw my fair share of H mad struggles, but I think you and I both are gonna have to, you know, we both need to tone it down. But we'll see. Maybe you don't use it anymore in any of the rest of the rounds. We'll see. I like that you're fishing with Haircar. Although, can he punish it? I feel like Johnny can maybe punish this. I know not that many characters like get a good punish, but if Johnny can punish it, he probably gets a full punish, right? Because he's gonna do like Mistfinder and, you know, although he has no level here, but I would imagine he can punish this. Let's try super quick. Oh, yeah, so far slash is too far. Let me rewind it a little bit. How do you do? Okay. It's so weird. It's hard to time when it like comes out of the replay. Maybe he can't punish it. Maybe with like a higher level Mistfinder or something. The fact that this is too slow. Yeah, maybe with level 2 Mistfinder. But yeah, seems like he can't really punish it. I'm gonna try 5H. 5H is gonna be too slow, I assume. Oh, it doesn't even reach. Yeah, seems good to me. If he can't punish it, by all means. Coin's definitely not gonna be fast enough. I don't even have to try Coin. Coin's not gonna work. Coin takes too long to get over there. Oh yeah, I forget about the Force Break. Yeah, Force Break probably punished it. What's up, Siki? Yeah, Force, and that's a pretty good punish too. Yeah, I forgot about the Force Break. Yeah, also maybe like the Transport FRC or whatever. The name of his moves, I get so confused in this game. Did that punish, or did you recover? Oh, you got chipped. You got chipped. That is unfortunate. Did you watch when I played Sajam the last 2 streams? I saw some of it because I watched some of the VOD earlier today. But I didn't watch much of it. I didn't watch enough of it to really like notice. You know, I was just watching it very casually. I wasn't really paying that much attention. Ooh, that is unfortunate. I like what you did, and I was curious. I hit the wrong button. We were at the beginning anyway. In the last game, there was one point when you ran up on him and you did like staggered like 2P or 2K, 5K, 2K, and I made like a note for myself to see if you did TK Bad Moon at some point later, or you know, at some other point. So that's good, obviously, that you're doing that. It's important, but it's very unfortunate here because he was just trying to burst out of your combo and you didn't have time to see that you were hitting him. Oof, unfortunate. Oh, he almost got the Inkasu. Oh no. Jeez, everything is going wrong for you this round. So, one thing with Millia, I'll never forget. I always think about this with Millia. Because my perception of Millia literally changed the day that I played against Woshige. So, obviously you guys remember EVO 2015, you know, the Woshige moment, right? That night, we were in the anime Illuminati, you know, the, what does he call it, the anime suite or whatever. Yeah, the anime suite. And Woshige was there, and you know, I had to like say hi to him, and then so we were talking a little bit. I don't remember, somebody was translating, and then we wound up playing a short set, and it was the first time that I had really played. This was Exarch's sign, obviously, but this was the first time that I had played like a really, really good Millia. Like a really good Millia. We don't really have Millias in South Florida. So even in the old days when I used to play like Vanilla Accent Core, I never really played against Millia. So my idea of what Millia did was drastically different from the way I understand her now, and that it literally was transformed within a game of playing with Shige. Because my whole game plan from my limited Millia experience was, I'm not going to try to fight her on the ground. She's going to fucking run circles around me in the air and pin and all this shit. So my game plan was, I'm going to preemptively try to meet her in the air. I'm going to jump around fishing with jump P, and I'm going to buffer jump H behind it so that if she gets hit, I get a knockdown. And yeah, I'm just gonna jump around and just spend the whole match in the air and just let her run into my attacks, right? Let me tell you, literally game 1, round 1 started. I did jump up, jump P, and this motherfucker whiff punished me in the air. He saw me jump, saw me whiff jump P, and did jump K, and whiff punished my air normal, and my whole fucking house of cards just disintegrated. The match was already over. We probably played like 5 games. I was already done. Every time I tried to whiff jump P in the air, he was whiff punishing me air to air with jump K, and I was just like, what am I even supposed to do then? I can't like whiff anything anywhere. She's like a fucking bullet. So what made me think of this story is the way he's moving around right now. This is just something you can maybe like think about while you're playing. If the person doesn't want to fight you on the ground, fight them in the air and fight them with jump K. Like, see how he's like jumping around like this? I would go to him. You know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid to go up to him, because jump K is like let me rewind it a little bit. Let's see if I can like do this in the match. So like here. So like he's jumping. See this hitbox? What is he gonna contest you with here? He has to like hit jump H at the perfect time preemptively. It is so you're going to him so quickly. How's he supposed to react to this? And the thing is, you know, obviously once you make contact, you can, you know, Gatling, and potentially if he's blocking, here the dummy's not blocking, but you know, you can pull him all the way back down to the ground with this. I don't really know Milia's Gatlings that well. I guess you go to jump P. Yeah, like he's stuck now, you know. So this is just like, to me, like Milia jump K is like it's like the air-to-air sniper, because the hitbox goes so high. So yeah, it's like you can be so fast with this when you're under them to like get up there and air-to-air them. It's really good. It's really good. Like her 6P is good, but I think this is infinitely better. Chip was my original character. I decided to move to Milia. Is neutral approach because I just keep running in hitboxes? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of perfect, because if that's what you're struggling with, I think this is a good concept to think about, and think about how you could maybe incorporate this into your game. Because like if you look at really good Milia players, you know, you look at Washige or you look at like LK or something like that, they are playing footsies. If you're fighting them on the ground, they're fighting you on the ground with her really good sweep and with far slash and with 5H and, you know, stuff like that. And if you spend too much time on the ground, you might go for like IAD pin and stuff like that. But if you're in the air, they're playing footsies with you in the air. And my point is just that she can do that. And I think she's actually very good at it because she's so fast, and because Jump K has a great hitbox for that purpose. So, you know, the idea again is not like you can play a reactive game if they are being too frantic and too like committal with their movement because they're trying to, you know, be squirrely. You can actually be the one to slow down and react to where they're going and hunt them down in that way. You know what I mean? Let them hang themselves. You know, instead of trying to just force yourself onto them, you know, through your movement options. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because the thing again is to realize that when other characters jump, they don't have that many options. They're more locked into where they're going. And so if you can react quickly, you can catch them before they can use their few options like double jumping or air dashing. Milia's so fast. Like if I try to like jump and then air dash back, if you're really quick, you might hit me out of my air dash. I won't even get away fast enough. You know what I mean? Ooh, yeah. This is the number one thing I'm seeing that you just have to straight up cut out. Ooh, yeah. This is not working. Wow, it just whiffs on her crouching too. Wait, did you just like do it? I wasn't looking. Oh, you did 5K. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Very nice. I mean, you missed the conversion, but that's not the point. The point is that you had the presence of mind to anti-air here. Nice. Not really sure what the super was for. Were you just trying to protect yourself while you got the pin? Nice. I like the turbo fall out of the corner. Yeah, see, I think this is a good example of what you were talking about, where you're just not finding ways in, right? Zoning super, yeah. Like, look at how much time you spent dancing around, starting like here, but you're just like not getting in. Do you know about 2366? Like the method of inputting a dashing disc, 2366. Do you know about that? You do? Okay. I won't spend time showing that then. It's important, so I just want to make sure you knew about it. Okay, so this is Pyth Mirror. Nice. Pin to get rid of the net. Very good. So, one thing Milia can do So like this net here, I think Millia has really good ways just between her mobility and, again, her normals are pretty good considering how fast she is. You probably already know this, actually, as I'm saying it. It's kind of obvious, but, you know, just like 5P is just like such a great tool to get rid of nets because you can't really like whiff punish her. She's just like so fast. But also, you know, jump P. Oh, I didn't realize there was a net up there. Jump K to clear nets above you because of the upwards hitbox. So, yeah, obviously this is a little more matchup specific stuff, but, you know, just good to think about. Nice. Ooh. It's unfortunate. Okay. Ooh. Good. Picking up the pin, obviously. Okay. So, like, here's another spot. Like, you got this air-to-air, right? And then, because you hit him, you landed, but he teched. This is another spot where instead of waiting for him to come down, you can go back and meet him in the air. Like, you land, see which way he teched, and then you're like a dart. You know, you just go right back to him. Like, see, you dash under him, you see he's in the air, and he's so slow compared to you. He's like whiffing at where you were 10 minutes ago. And you could just whiff punish him, basically. I mean, you got the anti-air anyway, but, you know, just an alternative for that kind of situation to think about. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Yeah, so you're definitely struggling with the nets. I see in chat you're saying you don't have that much experience. Oh, you do have the experience with Testament. Oh, but it was stress, I see. Yeah. Tournament nerves, man. They are real. They are real. Okay, cleared the nets. This is another spot, by the way. We were talking about this before. I don't know if you were here. I'm assuming, let me look at your inputs, that you were not holding back. Oh, you were, but you hit 2K. Okay, that's good. So you were holding back, and you actually did 1K instead of 2K. So this is good. Again, not always going to work, like I've said a million times, but you gave yourself the chance. You almost blocked this. If you had hit 2K, like, slightly later, and again, that's not to say that your timing was bad. It was just unfortunate, because if you had hit 2K slightly later, you would have instantly blocked that Gravedigger. But it was good that you're holding back and down back to give yourself the chance. Bad Moon. Your Bad Moon success percentage is not high. I'll just say that. I would just stress again, you should try to cut that out of your game. It's not really how you want to be using Bad Moon. There's certain cases where you can use it like that, usually with the backup plan of RCing it if they block it, but, you know, just, it's like a Hail Mary for, you know, it's not even that much reward. Like, the knockdown is good reward for Millia, but to risk like that, it's, you know, it's a lot. Wow, he got hit. Nice conversion. Okay. Oh, a little too high. Oh, he didn't kill you. Chance. Small chance. Still a chance. Okay, yeah. Rough. Yeah. Yeah, tournament nerves are real, man. Tournament nerves are real. Baka Neko, if you go back in this VOD about, I don't know, 30 minutes or an hour ago, we were talking a little bit about Order Soul Neutral, and also if you look up the stream from last Saturday, we talked a lot, actually, a lot about Order Soul Neutral, so you can check out that VOD. The reviews are going good, Hotashi. Obviously, I'm taking a really long time still, but I'm kind of allowing that for myself because I'm going to do more tomorrow, so I'm not really worried about the time as much. And I have like nothing else to do, kind of, because I don't think I can play tonight. So with the way the connections were, was there something else I was gonna look at in training mode? Oh, there you go. There's a link right to it. Thank you, Rupture. Very helpful. Appreciate that. Was there something else I said I was going to look at in training mode from one of those matches? I don't think so. But maybe. All right, we'll move on because I can't think of what it was. But yeah, overall, Cloud, good stuff. I think, in those matches, obviously, you lost, so you didn't get that many. Thank you, Sorix. Appreciate it. Do you know if I can meaty characters with DP on Wake Up? Depends on the knockdown. If you get a good knockdown, like a sweep or like a good combo ender in the corner, like pin or something like that, you can meaty them with a disc or with Secret Garden. But meeting them with a normal, it's going to depend on which DP. It's going to depend on which character. But yeah, the goal should be that you get a strong knockdown so that you can set up meaty disc, and then you can choose whether you want to commit to a mix-up before the disc or wait for the disc to be blocked and make sure that they are blocking and that they did not DP, and then do your mix-up. So it's like with Milia, when you get a good knockdown, and again, I'm qualifying all this off a good knockdown because there's obviously different types and different qualities of knockdown. But if you get a good knockdown in the corner, for example, at like the end of a combo, typically you're going to get multiple layers of mix-up. Usually you're going to get 2 to 3 mix-ups. So, and typically what happens is you set a disc. Forget Secret Garden for a second. You set a disc, and then if you want if you want to maximize, most mix-ups per second, right? Like MPS, mix-ups per second. You're generally going to start with a high-low meaty, then the disc is going to hit, and then you're going to get 1 to 2 more mix-ups after that if they block the initial mix-up. So what you can the way you can kind of think about it is you can sacrifice that initial mix-up for safety against the DP characters and wait and see if they block the disc first. So you sacrifice one layer, but then you get the subsequent mix-ups after that. I'm not necessarily familiar enough with Milia to be able to just verbally give you examples. I know the ideas, so I could look at it in training mode, but it would take a little too long. So I'm sure you can just look up some good Milia players and just look at the mix-ups they're doing, and you'll get the idea of what I'm talking about. But and yeah, with Secret Garden, it's even more emphasized because you get more. You can get like, I don't know, just guessing off the top of my head, you could probably get like 4 or 5, probably at least 4 mix-ups from one Secret Garden. So, and again, you can like sacrifice the first one to make sure that they're blocking before you start mixing them up. Okay, so where were we? Let's let me check you off. But yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, so next up we've got JJ. Is JJ here? He was here earlier. I don't know if he is still here. Let's see if we can find his matches. Wait. How is it always the last one? Yeah, that's a good point also worth mentioning, is that Force Break Disc is a way to upgrade your knockdown, essentially. So if you get a weaker knockdown, you can basically upgrade your mix-up by giving yourself like more time and or more mix-ups that you can do behind the Force Break Disc. So, if you get like a mid-screen sweep, typically off of that you're going to get like 1 knockdown. But if you do like Force Break Disc, you can get potentially more layers off of that. You know what I mean? So it's a good way if you get like an impromptu knockdown or something weird and you don't have time to set up a proper mix-up, it's the fastest way to get some kind of good mix-up. So that's good to kind of be familiar with as a backup plan for some of the stray knockdowns or weird knockdowns that you just get randomly. Yeah, Force Break Disc is pretty insane. Okay, so this is JJ. see what JJ says here. JJ is a Venom player. He's excited by Venom. So I mentioned last time, obviously, I get slightly disproportional amount of Venom submissions because I think there's probably a disproportional amount of Venom players that watch my stream compared to all the other characters. But yeah. PDZ asks, is your name just PD and then it's like, you know, Z's for like sleeping, or is it like PDZ? But yeah, he asks, PD asks, can you reveal the secrets on defending versus Venom, or are you sworn to secrecy? This is a great question. So if you type exclamation anti-Venom into the chat, which I'm just now realizing is a pun. I didn't even realize that until this exact second. That's awesome. I made an hour-long video. Not only did I make an hour-long video that shows all about how to defend Venom's pressure, I did a 5-minute recap at the end. So if you don't even want to watch the whole thing, you can watch the 5-minute recap and get the general idea and then see if you want to dive deeper. So, yeah. I did that, March 7th. It was already like over a month ago. Alright, let's see what we got. So we got JJ playing Venom here on the one-player side. Let's go. Fast forward the intro, nice. Okay. Okay. So one quick thing here, just a very little thing, but a useful thing. In these kind of situations, I'll watch the whole thing, fuck Venom, there you go. You're welcome. In these kind of situations, when you're coming down from a jump, it is very low risk to hit jump H as you are about to land. It's almost like a safe jump, because if you hit it late enough, there's very low chance of them... How can I phrase this? If you... I guess it's not even low enough. If you just hit jump H at the right point, it is hard or impossible for them to avoid it making contact and then hit you before you land, because there's such a little amount of time before you land. So for example, if we look at your jump here, so you double jumped here. God damn it. You double jumped here. So if you were to hit H here, this is like, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's impossible for him to do anything about this. This is one specific case, but I'm just, the idea, you know, sometimes they will be able to contest this, but this is just, I want to make you aware that this is something you should be looking for, because it's important to get back down to the ground in a lot of cases. So, you know, even though it's not going to get you a lot, it can alleviate the pressure, because you can often just push them away. Like, you don't even care if this hits. But you see how late I'm hitting this? It's very difficult for him to contest this like this. So, yeah, something to be on the lookout for. And it's not necessarily something you want to autopilot, but it's something you want to have in your pocket. Okay. Oh, no combo. Did you miss your input? Okay, you did, yeah. Yeah, you hit slash a little bit too soon. Did you try to run? Yeah, you just did it too soon. No worries there. Just a little bit of training mode can fix that up. I'm guessing, I think, is JJ still here? I realized I asked and I didn't. He's in chat. Did he respond before? Alright, he might be here lurking. But I was just curious because I can't tell if this was accidental or intentional. It seems like you were trying to do, I don't know, yeah, I'm not sure. But if you don't know, this move technically is punishable. It is pretty hard to punish. The timing is pretty weird. But it is technically punishable. If you can IV the last hit, it becomes much easier, but Venom doesn't even need to IV the last hit. That's a punish. If they do it this close, you can get sweep. And it is counter hit, although that doesn't necessarily benefit Venom. If you IV the last hit, I mean, this is pretty advanced, so don't worry about this, but if you IV the last hit, I think you can get sweep to hit him airborne, and then it'll combo into Dubious Curve. Let's see if I can do it. I'm missing the IV. I cannot get this IV. Oh, there, I had it. It's pretty hard. Yeah, don't worry about this. This is like super. I had the IV. This is like super advanced and very specific, obviously. But in general, even if you don't IV, just look for like if they're in range, you can sweep, and if they're not, then do 2S. Can you do 2S Dubious Curve actually? Oh shit! Why did I never think of that? I didn't know that that worked. Oh, this is a great punish, actually. This is a great punish. Forget the sweep. I'm missing the dash. So that would not work on him? It might not. But yeah. Even if you just do 2S Dubious. Yeah, that's sick. See? I like I said earlier, I was not kidding. I'm using this as a learning opportunity as well. I did not know that. That is awesome. How did I not know that comboed? Why did I never think to do counter hit 2S into Dubious Curve before? That's really I have to just like process this for a second because there's so many things that are counter hit recovery that Venom, I felt like Venom couldn't really take advantage of the fact that it was counter hit recovery. Like in Exurd, you can do counter hit 2D into Q5 when they're on the ground. And Venom doesn't have anything like that in this game. So a lot of the time when you hit them on the ground, it's counter hit recovery, you can't do anything. But there's a lot of moves that are airborne counter hit recovery that also he doesn't really get much benefit from. Yeah, you didn't know either, Hirsch? Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Apparently that move is -8 or -7. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, the 2S punish is not that bad. You have a couple of frames leeway. What the fuck is that? Oh. He gatlinged into, what'd you try to throw? Yeah. You IB'd and then tried to throw and got. Understandable. I probably would have got hit by that too, honestly. Tried a 2S punish. It's a weird timing. It took me a little bit of practice in training mode to get a somewhat feel for the timing. And I'm sure in matches I will still miss it quite often. Yeah, I mean, I would be getting hit by all this shit also. So, you know. Are you dead? No. Chip though? Chip though? Okay. Whoa. So here's a good example of a spot where you should throw, Wes, right? Could have got close slash, and then, because you didn't get the throw, and if you had gotten close slash, you might have been able to react to turn this into real pressure, and maybe you ride the momentum for the rest of the round, you know? But here you got 5H, and then, you know, you got. Let's see what else we can see here. It'd be like that versus Cliff, yeah. Oof. So one of the problems that I'm going to have here is that I don't have that much Cliff experience myself. So I have some ideas for the matchup, but I don't know that I would feel comfortable, you know, telling you a game plan that I haven't really vetted myself. Because like one thing I'm noticing is you're not really using that much far slash and 2 slash, which I think are good in this matchup in general. But again, it's hard for me to say that with confidence. Nice block. Missed the punish, but that's okay. Nice. Very good punish. You released too soon, but 5D. 5D is so good. Can Venom lead towards the full screen game instead of trying to run at him? Yeah, I mean, so yes, but the thing is you have to always be covering the pole vault move. So if you try to zone him normally with like P-ball and just send P-ball at like chest height, he's gonna pole vault over that. So you gotta use formations that keep balls either going upwards or at like head height or higher. So stuff like K-ball, to prevent him from using the pole vault, basically. Okay. Ooh. So let me think if there's some advice I can give you here, because this is just straight up execution. Just trying to think if there's any suggestions I can give you on the execution. How did you try to do this? Wait, what happened? Okay. Okay. Yeah, we could definitely talk about this in a second. Let's see the second one. Okay. So this is ye olden tiger knee motion that I'm gonna recommend that you learn, and I'm not even gonna talk through it right now. We'll talk through it in a minute in training mode, because it'll be infinitely easier to show you this in training mode. Let's just keep moving for now. Nice. Just want to see what he was trying to do here. I'd be curious to know the idea behind the jump here. At first I thought maybe it was a misinput on a carcass raid, but there's no extra S input. Yeah, so there was another match struggle. So I think I'm going to suggest two things to you, JJ. And we'll go into training mode for a second. Okay. So first thing is, it seems like when you get pressure, you are not prepared for the opportunity. So I'm gonna recommend that you maybe simplify, or focus is maybe a better word, on a limited number of block strings so that you can get really comfortable with those as far as muscle memory is concerned, so that it's not an issue of preparedness. You know, when you get the opportunity for pressure, you're just ready to go, and you can, for lack of a better word, autopilot some pressure in a pinch. So, because I'm still confused by, you know, you did this and then you jumped, and I didn't see any like missed inputs or anything. Maybe it's possible like you physically missed a button. I do that all the time, you know, but just in general, I'm gonna recommend a couple of block strings. So like something like this, and then the alternative, just do a different special at the end, and vary between 2 hits of close slash and 3 hits of close slash. And I would just start with that. You really don't have to get too fancy with it. Obviously, you know, you don't want to be overly repetitive, but you need a foundation. We talked about this earlier. You need some string, and I have this myself. You need some string that in an instant, when you don't have time to think, your brain and your hands can just default. It's like your lowest level, you know what I mean? Because it's gonna happen. So yeah, all reliable, exactly. You just need some safety net, because like I said, it seems like, and I could be wrong, but the impression that I got, those were 2 short matches, but the impression that I got is that the couple of opportunities you got for pressure, you just weren't ready in the moment, and so you didn't really make the most out of the opportunity. So even just something simple like this, you can also do, you know, stinger, you know, just whatever special, but you know, something, just some number of hits of close slash into 1 hit of sweep, and then as you get more comfortable, you can start to expand out from there. You know, removing the sweep, or 2-hit sweep, or you know, whatever. So that's number 1. The second thing is I'm going to talk a little bit about Tiger Knee input, which we're gonna try to make a concerted effort to start to refer to as instant air, right? Instant air match struggle. Forget the days of Tiger Knee are over. We're ushering in the new age of instant air. So what you were doing is you were jumping and then inputting the match struggle. And you'll notice that when I do this, no matter how fast I try to do it, I can only do it so low. No matter how fast, I'm still getting pretty up there, right? And this is why your, I don't have a meter. This is why your, I can't even do it like this. You know, this is why your match struggle was whiffing, because if you get too high, it's just not even going to make contact. So the method, the trick to this is, instead of inputting your jump and then inputting the motion for match struggle, which is 2, 3, 6, you can actually input the motion first before you even jump, and the game in the input buffer will remember those inputs for a short period of time, but it's long enough that you can then jump and simply hit the button for the move, and the game then looks back at your previous inputs and it tries to see, all right, I see that he hit S, so at least this is going to be jump S, but did he input anything before this that would be, you know, that would override jump S, any kind of special commands, any kind of special moves? And it will say, oh, I see like 10 frames ago, you hit 2, 3, 6, and it's like Clippy. It's like, were you trying to match struggle? I got you, fam. And it will match struggle for you. So the input for this is 2, 3, 6, 9, and then S. And I want to be very clear that you do not want to hit 9 and S on the same frame. When you hit 9, you're going to jump, and you need to give yourself a little bit of time to get off the ground, because there is a delay from when you actually hit 9 to when you become airborne. So it's going to be 2, 3, 6, 9, slight delay, and then your button, okay? And it looks like this. And you can see when I do it like this, and let me try to get one clean one. Perfect. So you see my inputs there. Ignore the punch. I'm holding punch so that the input display doesn't disappear, because it disappears in this game if you're not inputting something. So forget the punch input at the end, but 2, 3, 6, 9, S. And you can see that when I do it like this, and I can do it with D as well for the force break, but you notice I can do this extremely low. In fact, I can do it so low that it doesn't even make contact. So you can actually juke it and hit them low. So, something to practice. It took me a lot of practice many, many years ago to be able to do this consistently. And there are more advanced ways to do this that I'm not even going to touch on now because they are very advanced. But start with this. Now, the other just kind of thing to know about this is when you're doing this in neutral, this is one of those things where you kind of have to practice it 2 different ways. So you want to practice it raw, just doing the input by itself, and this is probably where you want to start. And then you want to practice doing it from a jump cancelable normal. And the reason that I say this is because you can see I'm trying to do it right now, and I'm not very good at this myself. It feels extremely different in this game than it did in Exurge, so even I'm still becoming more familiar again with the timing in this game. But you need to learn the timing of when to input the Tiger Knee in your move, because if you don't, you have to kind of back into the timing, because if you don't get the jump part lined up properly with the window of your move, you won't jump. Or you'll jump too soon and your move won't come out. There's all sorts of ways that this can mess up. So you kind of have to just find the right timing and then just practice the timing. And it might vary from move to move. Like the timing, like I can hit this every time. Well, you know, almost every time. But the close slash one I'm really bad at. And the close slash 2 one I'm especially bad at. Close slash 1 I'm okay. Close slash 2, this one I don't even go for in matches because I haven't practiced it enough. I'm just I don't know the timing. So this is something that I myself have to practice as well. So yeah, so that's my recommendation. You know, execution practice there for that, and then again just practice your block strings a little bit. Try to simplify your block strings a little bit so that you are more prepared to do them in the moment. They're not as complicated. But yeah, other than that, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Looking forward to seeing your progression in the future. Sajam, I saw your question. I have done 4, I will have you know. I said that I was going to try to do them quicker, but I am allowing myself more time tonight. I'm not really trying that hard to do them shorter because I'm going to do more tomorrow anyway. So I'm not, and I like couldn't play online. I don't know what's going on with like my inputs. I'm just getting like ridiculous. I'm feeling it here in training mode too. Where's my jump? Ugh. You see, I've described this on stream. Like, you guys see this, right? I know you don't feel what I'm feeling. But you see this, like, dash when I'm trying to jump? Shit is fucking gross. Garen, I don't think it's my stick. I think it's, I don't know, I have to restart my computer or something? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's my physical stick. It might be a driver issue. I don't know. But this shit is, I can't play like this. So we'll just do reviews. I'm gonna do one more, I think. And that one more is MCNA. I found different special moves are easier or harder to TK. There are height limits or something. That's a good question. I don't know if there are actually height limits in this game. I don't think that there are. I think the only height limitation in this game is the actual limitation of you hitting the ground. Whereas, like, if you're trying to Tiger Knee a move that stops your momentum, you might actually just land from gravity before your move comes out. But I don't think that there's actually... Maybe there's some moves that I'm not aware of or that I can't think of it off the top of my head. But I don't think that there are... In general, there are height limitations in this game. Yeah, I mean, different characters have different jump startups as well. But I don't know that that is necessarily related to that. Are the weights on Dust Loop wrong? They list Slayer and Kai as both middleweight, but Kai falls like a ton of bricks. I don't know. I don't know, actually. I've never really looked at it. I just know, I agree, he feels like he falls like a ton of bricks. I think it's a combination of maybe that he is middleweight, but that he just has a shit hitbox when he's in the air. All right, so let's see what mcna said, and then I'll make a marker. Okay, so 2 of these games are from the beginner tournament, and then he's got the one versus KB Nova, which obviously KB Nova was not in the beginner tournament. If you're not familiar with who KB Nova is, he is the best Zappa in the country who won Frosty Faustings in January, beating Elven Shadow. He's been playing the game forever, and he's been playing Zappa forever. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to save the KB Nova one for last. We'll go backwards here. Let's just start. We'll go up. Oh, I need to make a marker. mcna Potemkin. All right. Let's see. Okay. Aggressive round start, but I like it. I'm so happy. It just makes me so happy. You know, we talked about this like a week ago, and look at the perfect safe jump. The micro walk forward, the super jump, boom, the perfect safe jump. Not that he needed a safe jump there, but I mean, you get a good meaty that way. Beautiful. Beautiful. So this would have comboed, right? Yeah, I think you're in trouble, Sajam. I think you're in trouble. I think you're in trouble. This would have comboed on hit, right? I'm just curious. I'm just gonna not block. Whoops. Oh, he's too far. But the idea, I think, what he was going for, is he here? I think he was here earlier. He's in chat. I don't know if he's actually here, but I'm assuming the idea there was that if it hit, he dies. For those of you who don't know, there's a lot of characters have character-specific combos, like Faust-specific combos. In a lot of cases, it has to do with juggling off of your sweep. So, for example, Potemkin can do sweep into heat and juggle on Faust. So I think that's what he was going for here, which is pretty sick. Ooh. Unfortunate. Nice. Oh, the bomb flick? Ooh. So, just in case you don't know this, you probably know this, but just in case you don't know this, you can flick this bomb. Let's see if I can do it. Oh boy, this is going to be hard to time. Am I even doing the flick input right? What is the flick input? Is it not, yeah, there we go. So yeah, bomb, you want to be aware of this. It's not that you should go for the flick every time, but in this kind of spot where, like, you want to be careful if Faust is in range to poke you before you can get the flick out. But in this kind of case where he teched all the way back, this was like, you know, you were going to be able to try it uncontested. You still might not want to try it because obviously there's some risk if you mess up the timing. But the idea here is that the bomb is a set timing. So if you're comfortable with it, you can theoretically flick this every time. And it is a huge benefit if you do get the flick. So it's the kind of thing I think you want to go for in certain spots and not all the time, you know? What did you try to do? Got hit by mid. Try to Mega Fist? No, you tried to Pot Buster. You tried to Pot Buster, you animal. Okay, he's dead. Nice, nice. I'm with it. So bold to start round 2 the same way as round 1. You're lucky you didn't get punished. Even though, obviously you're playing Potemkin here, just for any potential Faust players that are watching, in spots like this where you need a quick punish, the general like go-to punish in these spots is 5p 2d. So something like this. Because 5p will combo into sweep. Is that not working this game? Or am I just fucking up? Only on crouching? Is that's not like that in Exert, is it? Am I misremembering? Doesn't this work in Exert? I thought this is always works in Exert at least. In Exert also? Are you sure? Like, I know you do this after FDC jump K, and they're crouching in those cases. Yeah, the problem with 2S is that sometimes it's not going to reach. In this case, it's fine, but sometimes you can't get everything. Yeah, apparently I'm just making shit up. I thought that this always worked, but I know that 2P is not going to work. This never works. That only works on counter hit. But yeah. Hold on, let me see something else. Yeah, you could do that, I guess. If you have to do 2S, I guess. Although 5P is faster, so you probably want to do this anyway. Alright, this is a Potemkin review. Forget Faust. You get the idea. Does 2P2H combo? No. 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 No way. I don't even think that combo's on counter hit. Maybe on counter hit, but I don't even think on counter hit. Okay. I'm surprised this didn't work. Why didn't this work, actually? Is it too fast? Yeah, you actually did it too fast. Yeah, he still had throw protection from leaving block stun. So your idea was right. Your idea was 100% right. You just did it too fast. I just did it too fast there. Oh, I just remembered something we were going to look at. I wrote it down. I didn't look at it from Kai, but it's whatever. It wasn't important anyway. So yeah, your idea here was fine. Just mistimed. Too fast. Nice block. Didn't respect the flower, but... Ooh. Oh, he's gonna get a combo off this. Yeah, I like that burst, I think. So here's another example. Like, in this matchup specifically, there's some items that you can just flick theoretically every time because they have a fixed timing. So the bedpan is another one. But this is a good example of what I was talking about before, where you don't necessarily want to go for the flick every time, because if he's in a range to contest you, you can get like super fucked up for going for the flick, because you do have to wait for the timing of the flick, right? So, like here, he threw the pan. If you had not moved forward, the flick is probably more reasonable here. But once you committed to moving forward, I wouldn't recommend flicking here anyway. You didn't, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, even though the wash pan is very flickable, Like, you would have got fucked up here for going for it. He would have hit you with this before the bedpan got flicked. Jeez. Are you just fucking mashing Potbuster? Bro. You can't Potbuster every wake up. Throw in some, you know, backdash busters or, you know, some judge gauntlets or something if you want to do something every wake up. You can't just do Potbuster every wake up. You got to give your opponent some respect. Jeez. Hey, what's up, Bazooka? Bazooka, I reviewed a match with you in it a little while ago. Good stuff during the tournament. Yeah, so the fact that you're doing this over and over, I know that I'm right, that he's looking for on hit. So he's a little too far there, but it can work. Ooh, that looked like it was going to whiff. What did you do that you got hit by this? You tried to Potbuster! Bro. You gotta block. You gotta do something else. That's not good. That's not good. Okay. Nice. Oh, see here. This is where you should heat on Faust. Yeah, like that. When you get the hit confirmed. Ban Potbuster on Wake Up for this man? Yeah, I think it's gonna have to come to that. 60% of the time it works every time. That's the. It's not. It's like 0% of the time it's worked 100% of the time. Has it worked once? This is so bad. Too many Fausts. All right. Honestly, just eating those hits is a reasonable way to get rid of that, because that could have been really annoying. Ooh, this is horrible. Okay, punish. Ooh, that did not punish, and you missed the Potbuster. So you could have ended his whole career here, by the way. I'm pretty sure you could have one-shot him, and he doesn't have burst. Let's just look at this for 2 seconds. Is this not counter hit recovery? Why is it hitting me so weird? How is this not counter hit recovery? Yeah. Yeah, without the counter hit. I assumed that this was counter hit recovery, because you could probably 100% stun him if it was counter hit recovery. But without the counter hit recovery, it's not going to work. Faust is something else in this game? Yeah. Does sweep heat only work on Faust? I don't know. It might work on, I want to say May also. We can look at it in training mode. Remind me when we're done with this review, because this is the last review I think I'm going to do tonight. Remind me, we can look at it in training mode. I want to say May also. Oh, Dizzy, I think. I'm pretty sure Dizzy is the other one, not May. It might work on May also, but I'm pretty sure Dizzy is the other main one. So wait, what just happened? Meteors are another one, by the way, that you can look to flick. Again, it's the meteors though are trickier because they are random. So like the other ones that I mentioned, like the bomb and the wash pan, those are completely fixed. Once you see them go up, you know what the timing is going to be. The meteors, you know the timing, but they're randomized a little bit. So you might flick, and the first meteor might miss you. It might not hit you. So that one you can try to flick, but it's kind of, you know, flick at your own risk. So one thing I can talk about real quick, it's not so much Potemkin versus Faust, just kind of anti-Faust. In case you don't know, the idea when he's on Pogo, the way the moves work is he can do, when you're on Pogo in the stance, P does the little head attack, right? And then K is head flower, I believe. S is ground flower. I might be reversing those, but one of them is head flower and one of them is ground flower. I think I have it correct. And then H is going my way. And the idea is that the head attack is an overhead, and the ground flower is a low. So you might be saying, like, what the fuck? That's super fucked, because you cannot react to either of those moves. They're both too fast to react to. So what is this, like a 50-50? It's not a 50-50, because the idea is that the face attack, he can only do really close, and when you're in that range, the flower is too far from you. So he cannot do the flower. And vice versa, when you're in the range of the flower, when you're over the area of the ground that the flower can come out, he's too far to do the face attack. So the idea is that when he's in pogo, if you need to block, when he's up close, you want to be blocking high because he has no low threat. And then when he pushes you out, you want to be blocking low because he has no overhead threat. So that's like the general idea of how to block. So like in this spot, like you should just be blocking low. Like it looks like you were trying to walk away, which is understandable. But if you are trying to block, you should be blocking low here because he cannot hit you with an overhead from this range. Yeah, he can just exit pogo. Yeah. All right, let's watch Justice. So mcna really picked some tough matchups here. Some matchups where you really got to work for it, huh? Let's see how this goes. I feel like this is going to be 8,000 slide heads, the match. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, I wonder if 2D Heat works against Justice also. I didn't even think about Justice because, you know, in my head Justice doesn't exist because I'm used to vanilla. But I bet 2D Heat works on Justice also, actually. Yikes. Whoa. That puts her in the corner? That's kind of fucked up. Jesus. Yeah, Justice can't hurt me in my head. Damn, this guy... Oh, it's Heartwad. I was gonna say, he's going in. Isn't this the guy that won the tournament? Isn't Heartwad the one that won? My memory's so bad I don't even remember. Yeah, he won, right? Okay. Okay, there's Slide Head. Good, good. So this is something, the Hammerfall Break, that I was going to mention to mcna. But, you know, I had given him... Yeah, this is... Who's about to get hit? Should I do a poll? Should I do a prediction? Who's about to eat shit? But yeah, the Hammerfall Break to close distance is obviously important. But I had given him so many things. Yeah, he has armor. Yeah, exactly. See, Sagem understands. Did he cancel or not? He hasn't input. We can see his inputs. He has not input the cancel yet. But maybe she's gonna go through it. Maybe he's gonna armor it and she's gonna go through him, and neither one is gonna get hit. Let's see. You ready? You gotta watch this at full speed. Yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, definitely mcna gonna eat shit. Definitely." Yeah. Not today. Yeah, the armor for sure. Halftime show material. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I'm also noticing that mcna is a big fan of the round start Mega Fist forward, which is a legit option. It's good against Venom. It goes over 2S. But you know, careful is all I'll say. It is a tool, and you do need to use it. You don't want to overuse it, though. I like the push out of the corner. Jeez. Okay. So we're like 1 for 10 wake up potbusters or so as of game 2. I'm gonna really you know, push on him on that because it's got to stop. And I know he knows that I'm kidding. So this is something that I think we talked about. You could have OS'd here to catch this backdash. So I'm not going to try to show this here because I think it might be actually really hard in the replay. I'm just going to make a note to... We'll go through it. I mean, we've gone through this a couple times in different contexts, but we'll look at it again here. Actually, I'm not going to go through it again. I just realized I went through it literally with mcna. He knows this. He just maybe didn't think to do it here. Because we were showing the OS backdash, which is hard, where you can OS a backdash against a DP. The simple version, like here, there wasn't really a threat of a reversal necessarily. So you can kind of assume that if Justice is going to do a reversal, it's going to be a backdash, and you can just OS sweep. Or another good OS button with Potemkin is also 2S, because hitting them airborne with 2S is really good. Now that it's worked, it's the right decision, I see. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I like the slide head attempt. And then I like the patience when it didn't work. Okay, had to burst. Literally no choice. I mean, you had a choice, but you didn't really. Yikes. Yeah. That's rough. I want to see something. Once she shot that nuke and got into the air, this becomes real tough. I'm just curious if you could have lived, if you had enough health to eat the hit. Nope. Yup. He has so much guts. So this is a potential answer here. I think far slash for Potemkin, I think this is a must in this matchup. I think you have to. Because this situation just happens too much. You just get behind too much in neutral. Like, you try to slide head, and, you know, that's great. But in those cases where the slide head doesn't work and you fall behind, it's a good alternative. I don't think you can detonate it early. I don't think that matters. He doesn't have a hurt box where it's going to... Oh, I guess if you detonate it early so that the timing of the last hit is when he sticks his arm out. Sure. Yeah, but that's I mean, if they do that, I mean, you got me. You know what I mean? Like, the thing is, if they're doing that, you're already so ahead of the game, because then you just stop doing it and they're just detonating their nukes early for no reason, right? Like, that's, you know, if they do that, good shit. You know, at some point, this is something, I made a tweet about this, like this general idea, not exactly this thing, but it's related. It's like one of my favorite tweets of all time. I made it a couple months ago because I had this like crystallization of an idea that had been floating around in my head for years, maybe even like over a decade. And I don't know, I just had this moment of clarity one day, and I was like, oh my God, I realized exactly how to verbalize it. And it was that there are only two types of players, okay? When there's the type of player that you get anti-aired, and your first thought is, ooh, I got anti-aired, maybe I should stop jumping. And then there's the other type of player that says, ooh, I got anti-aired, how do I beat his anti-air, right? This is like the two fundamental types of player, right? It's like the player that is risk adverse and is like, I got to stop doing this because I'm getting punished. And then there's the player that's like, oh, he does this when I do this, I'm going to go to the next level, right? And I think you need a healthy mix of both of those things. But what we're talking about is kind of an example of that, right? It's like, okay, if they detonate the nuke early and time it perfectly, so the fourth hit of the nuke hits my extended limb and I get knocked down, it's like, you know, you got me, dude. Like, okay, I'm just gonna take a step back, and you knock yourself out detonating your nukes early, and I'm just gonna stop doing that. You know what I mean? It's like you don't need like an answer to the answer to the answer to the answer, you know? It's just funny. If I get anti-aired, my mind instantly goes to just whip out the umbrella first. Yeah, exactly. See, my first thought when I get anti-aired, I'm like, I gotta stop jumping. You know, like I IED and they air throw me, I'm like, I'm not doing that again. I'll find another way in. You know, but some people are like, no, I'm IED and then I'm gonna stop my momentum, or I'm gonna hit my button earlier so that when they try to air throw me, they just jump into my button. You know. But yeah, this is gonna be tough. Okay. Nice. Okay. Off to a good start. Safe jump. He didn't respect it. He tried to DP. What did he try to do? He tried to backdash, and he missed his backdash. Let's go. Oh, too soon. Barely. Did he even stand up? He didn't even stand up. It feels bad, man. It feels bad. Not like... Oh, no. Not like this. Okay. Good burst. Oh? I think you could have killed him there, guaranteed. I mean, he could have burst, but... Let's see. Yeah, you can get a combo off that. This takes awareness. This is the kind of thing where, you know, with more just raw hours of playing, the situation comes up enough that you have the presence of mind to convert this. But it's something that does come up, so you do want to be aware of this kind of conversion when they're really high. It's showing that it's not comboing because of the training mode, but it can combo. So did I just alter time? Is that really not... Yeah. Return. That is not what happened. In our universe, this is what happened. So, another spot where once he has ghosts, flick is everything. And again, it's just a familiarity thing. You just need to practice it and or get a bunch of experience against it, because the ghosts, he can't really alter the timing. Once they're shot, they're shot. So like here when he did the triple, you know, the triple explosion, if you're ready and you know the timing, you can just flick this. I'll try to do it here. I did not rewind enough. Yeah, see? And not only do you get the flick projectile clears the rest of the ghosts. So, one thing I will say, I don't know why this is. Maybe there's a Zappa player in the chat right now that can clue me in on some secret that I don't know. I don't know why Zappa players love to do this exact sequence. They do the ghost overhead, the 3-hit, you know, ghost overhead. So let me back up a step, actually. For those who don't know, who aren't that familiar with Zappa, when he has ghosts, his normals change a little bit. His slash and hard slash buttons use the ghosts for his normals. And he gets an overhead that he doesn't normally have. Well, I guess he has it, but it's a different overhead. So normally his 6H overhead is different. He gets a different 6H overhead with the ghosts. And the thing is, the ghosts are like ammo. So when you shoot the projectile, you have one less ghost, and it has to come back to you. It like literally slowly floats back to you, and then, you know, gets back in the clip. So this normal specifically, 6H, it uses all of the available ghosts. Each one does a hit. So he can actually do this with no ghost and nothing happens. He can do it with one ghost and it just gets one hit. The difference is Zappa's recovery doesn't change. So they basically, Zappa players will basically only do this when they have all 3 ghosts, because I want to say it's like punishable on hit with less than 3 or something like that. Maybe 2 is still safe. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it in that much detail. But anyway, the point I'm making is that they usually only do this with all 3 ghosts because of that. It also does like good damage. He can't do anything off of it. He has to RC if he wants to combo off of it. And so I don't know what it is, but it's very common for them to do the triple shot after this. I don't know why that is. But I'm just bringing it up because it's so common that it's something you should look for when you're fighting against Zappa, regardless of your character. I mean, especially for Potemkin, to be ready to flick this. But I feel like I see this all the time, and I don't really understand why. Like, you could do the triple shot whenever you want, but it's like, this is the only time I ever see them use it. And it's, like, very common that they do. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe it, like, puts you at a good range to do the triple shot, so they feel kind of compelled to do it because it's good at that range. I don't know. What a block. Oh. I mean, you blocked it. It was a good block, but you were already holding up. You never crouched. Once he got in the air, you start holding back, and then you just kept holding back. But you blocked it. It's good. It's a tough overhead to block. Ooh, that is unfortunate. Yikes. The reset. So, you know, this is Zappa. What I will say is, you did have opportunities here. It's just that, you know, reacting to the opportunity, not only that you have an opportunity, but that, you know, then to react with something that's gonna potentially work in that opportunity is obviously very difficult. But just so you are aware of some of the stuff you can try to do here and some of the stuff you can look for to do. Let's go all the way back. So first of all, you had a lot of meter when this started. So the first thing right away, as soon as you blocked here, I would be looking to dead angle. And you want to make sure that when you go to dead angle, make sure that you are not going to hit the dog. You got to wait until the dog is in a spot like this where it's bouncing back and that you're only going to hit Zappa. So like this actually would have been a great spot to dead angle him. Now you got hit again. Obviously, there's nothing to be done while you're getting hit. Okay, so here you blocked again. He was resetting you, so you do have to look for the overhead. Obviously, that was an opportunity for you to block. Very tricky to see that, though. And even if you block it, you don't get anything. He's just going to cover the recovery with the dog anyway, because he's gonna use the dog after the combo off of it regardless. So it's either going to combo or he's going to cover the recovery. Okay, so the way the dog works. So let's talk about the dog. And I suppose there's a chance that maybe what I'm about to say is slightly wrong if there is a difference between this version and vanilla, because I'm going all off of vanilla knowledge. But the way the dog works is that he has several different moves that he does with the D button. Basically, his D button becomes the dog. And the dog can do one move at a time, or you can cancel any dog move into any other dog move, including itself. And but if you do, the dog has added recovery. Okay? So if you do one move at a time, the dog has a little bit of recovery, just a little bit. Very, very minimal. You can hit the dog during the recovery, but it's very minimal. But if you do two moves back to back, it is a significant amount of recovery, and you can actually see it. So notice here, let me back it up a little bit. So notice here, oh, you just did it there too. Okay, so let me back it all the way up. So we'll look at this in detail. Okay, so he does one move. Notice the dog is just chilling, right? That was neutral D. The skeleton comes out and it comes back and the dog is just chilling. Okay. Now we keep going. He does that's 6D, the leap. And then he immediately cancels it into up D, which was maybe an accident or he was doing that for the positioning. Now what I want you to pay attention to is because he did two moves, when the dog lands, it's going to like shudder. I don't know how else to explain it. It like growls and like shudders. And that is the added recovery. See this right here? This little wiggle animation. So what you can do, first of all, that's added recovery. You can hit the dog if it's not this kind of circumstance. If he does this in neutral, like if he does leap forward to try to approach you with the dog, you're going to have this extra recovery where you can punish the dog very easily, okay? But number two is you want to be aware of this because this is often your opportunity to escape the pressure because the dog is recovering. So if Zappa doesn't cover all of this time by himself, you're going to have an opportunity to get out. So for example, not here. He did cover all the time, but there's one coming up. So here's the recovery again. So look, he did 5D, 5D, and the dog had the added recovery, but he did the overhead. And now here he did it again and the dog recovers. So here you were able to backdash because of the dog recovery. There was like nothing he could do to cover this. Now unfortunately backdash, you just get hit by the, well, you got hit by the dog, but you were going to land on the spit anyway. But here's another example. He gave the dog extra recovery. He did, what did he do here? He did 6D, 4D again. So the point I'm making here is that if you look for this stuff and you combine it with faultlessing, because again, the only way that he can keep this up by, if he's, honestly, I'm surprised. I haven't really looked at Kenji's pressure in detail. I feel like this is not like optimal Zappa, you know? Like I feel like Zappa normally wouldn't put the dog in recovery like this. He would space it out to be using one attack at a time to specifically avoid this. Because the problem with this from Zappa's perspective is, again, once a dog gets into recovery, it's only Zappa that can keep you locked down. And he has good block strings, but if you faultless him out, you can easily create gaps in his block strings. So, you know, it's just something you have to... and again, this is easier said than done, but it's a combination of having the awareness of when the dog can and cannot attack you, and simultaneously messing with Zappa by faultlessing Zappa. Faultlessing the dog obviously doesn't necessarily help you, but faultlessing Zappa so that if you suddenly see, oh, the dog's about to go in recovery, you maybe have an opportunity that Zappa's not close enough to continue the pressure. So... So should you faultless during the Zappa portion of the block string rather than the dog part? That's what I try to do generally. Now, granted, you're going to drain your meter very quickly, but you kind of have to do something, you know? So that's generally what I try to do, is when he runs up to me, I faultless. When he starts to get pushed out, I stop faultlessing, and I try to look to see what he's doing. Maybe sometimes he's going for like a far slash, and I can jump out or something like that. But generally, that's what I try to do, is I try to faultless Zappa when he gets close to me, and then not be faultlessing when he's farther away and when the dog is covering the gaps. Okay. Okay. Just killed that fucking dog, murdered. So here, is he gonna do that? See, he does it again. See? I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, and it's not only Kenji. I don't know what it is. It's like a Zappa player thing. And like, he won't... Like, Zappa players don't use the triple shot other than that one spot. It's so weird to me. I don't know. I feel like I'm like missing something. Alright, this is gonna be tough. Okay, so this is something else that I've talked about on stream. This is something else that Zappa players do that it makes perfect sense once you understand it, but it's something that you want to be aware of because in my opinion, it's really important for fighting the sword. So when they do, when you get opened up and then they do the sword swipe, first of all, the sword swipe is usually techable. Let me rewind this a little bit. Let me get this. Okay. Okay, so I want this should be techable, I think. Maybe not for Potemkin. Maybe not for anybody, but anyway, you should always try to tech. First of all, you should always try to tech the sword swipe because it is often techable. But number two is when you do get knocked down by it, they almost always OTG you with 2S. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, it's a good setup to mix you up again. But the reason that it's a good setup to mix you up again is because it moves the sword down, which actually makes the overhead better. So the way the sword overhead works is it's actually incredibly slow. Like if you just look at the move by itself, it is very easy to react to. Let me pull up the frame data like super quick. I know this is going like super deep down the rabbit hole, but this is pretty interesting in my opinion. So the way the sword works, and it's actually listed this way in the frame data, is it'll tell you what the startup is, but the startup is not necessarily relevant. Okay, so sword 6H startup 13 frames. Okay, Now you look at that and you say, what the fuck? That is not reactable, right? 13 frames, unreactable. But if you read the notes on the frame data, it says startup to hit crouching opponent is 22 frames, tested on soul. So what does this mean? If you think about the animation of the sword overhead, the sword goes up and then it comes down at an angle. So if you are standing, the sword hits you in 13 frames. But that's not why the sword hits you. It's an overhead. The sword hits you because you're crouching. And on crouching, the sword doesn't hit you right away because it's traveling downwards. So it doesn't hit you until frame 22 due to the travel time of the sword. Okay? So that's the first thing to understand. So now where does this whole OTG thing come in? Well, again, you got to think about the animation of the sword. The animation is all relative to where the sword is when he starts the move. So by using 2S and moving the sword into the ground, the sword does now suddenly hit you when he does the overhead on the first active frame, and it becomes basically unreactable. So instead of the sword having to travel down to hit you in the top of the head, it's coming up from the ground. So as soon as it starts to go, your head is there and you're getting overheaded. So this is why they do this. It makes this mix-up ridiculous. And the reason I'm pointing it out is, in my opinion, you should always tech this. And they almost always do this because it makes this mix-up so good if you don't tech or miss the tech. So going back to this, when you get hit with sword swipe, you want to look for this OTG. Oh, whoops. You want to look for this OTG and then tech. I'm missing it. Like this. And this will help you avoid this mix-up. You get your air option and you can contest him. Super important. If you pay attention, you will see this all the time. I guarantee it. They will do this to you until you start teching it every time, because it just makes the mix-up bullshit, basically. So yeah, really, really important in my opinion to understand that situation. It's like a very specific situation, but it's extremely common, and you'll just die, basically. So, like here, he didn't even do the overhead. He did the instant. Yeah, he didn't do the 6H overhead. He did the instant overhead, but you know, it's the same idea. And so they're good tech. So you tech the sword swipe. Very important. There's the OTG again, and look at how fast the overhead. Can we actually count the frames? This is frame by frame, right? So we should be able to count the frames. Where does it start? I don't know if it's this one or this one. We'll call it this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So it actually was not, I mean, it was faster than 22. It wasn't instant, but still 17, that's fucking hard to block. And I might have counted it wrong, who knows. It might be, you know, a couple frames different, but you get the idea. It makes the overhead faster. So yeah. The thing is, again, cheap death, it's not that hard to see. Like if we go into training mode, like if you actually look at the move in a vacuum, like if you didn't understand this and you looked at this in training mode, you'd be like, why do I always get hit by this? I don't understand, it's so slow. But it's relative to the starting point of the sword. Yeah, and the second hit is a low hit, exactly. So like, I just realized I have to like make him get sword. Well, okay. Like if you just look at this, like this shit is mad slow, actually. So like, it is super slow, right? It's definitely reactable, but when you lose those startup frames, I guess you're not losing startup frames. When it hits you earlier in the active frames, I should say, it becomes impossible. All right. Anyway, I thought I had written something down to look at in training mode, but then I realized it was the safe jump OS, and I decided I wasn't going to show that because we already talked about it in detail last time. So I guess that's it. But yeah, mcna, you're improving very quickly. I will say that. I'm like extremely pleased with the speed. You know, obviously I'm trying to give for everyone, no matter who the review is. I try to give more intentionally. I try to give more advice than I know that they can handle, because, you know, it's an opportunity to just give them stuff that they can continue to work on going forward. So, you know, I might give you 5 things to work on, and my assumption is you're going to work on 1 or 2 in the immediate future, and, you know, maybe a couple of weeks from now, a month from now, whenever, depending on how often you play and how much time you're practicing and stuff like that, you know, you'll come back to the other stuff later and just prioritize it. But yeah, you implemented the stuff that I told you in like days, so it's just awesome. It's just awesome to see the safe jump stuff, the flicking. You made like a very clear improvement in the flicks. So yeah, it's just awesome. Yeah, gotta stop. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, you gotta stop. That's the one thing now. You know, we're gonna keep moving from thing to thing, right? You got the safe jumps down. Your flicks are getting better, so we can move past that stuff. This thing now is you gotta stop the wake up pot busters. It's not that good. It is okay, but it is not nearly as good for how often you're doing it. If you would just backdash instead of trying to pot buster every time, at least backdash every time. Backdash will get you way further. I don't think you should do that every wake up either, but at least that's gonna, you know, I think you'll get more mileage out of that if you're gonna do something every wake up. But yeah, you need to mix up.